We welcome you to McLean Stadium here in Waco, Texas, open since 2014. They've played football here since 1898, and today SMU comes a-calling. But this palatial stadium was built largely on the shoulders of recent success by head coach Art Briles. Today, both he, the athletic director, and school president that hired him are no longer here. Hello, everyone. I'm Tim Brando, welcoming you to our coverage. This is the first nationally televised game here since Briles vacated his position on May 26th after multiple sexual assault charges were brought against several Baylor team players. An icon, Grant Taff, a legendary Hall of Famer, reached out to an old friend, 64 years of age, Jim Grove, and asked him to come help navigate through these troubled waters. And as I bring in my partner, Spencer Tillman, I don't think there's any question that even though he was successful at Wake Forest, there's no guide for what he's having to do here.
Indeed, no manual. Let me just say, Timmy, full disclosure, as a father of 4 daughters, this is a very difficult subject to unpack, but there are two sides to it clearly. I think Jim Grove has prepared himself over the last 40 years for this challenge, having coached coaches as well as the kids, the greatest influences in his life. He's prepared for that, but the dicey one, of which you alluded to, there is no manual. It's managing that uneasy tension between academia, the fan base, and everyone outside Baylor Bear Nation. That's the challenge, because it can fall apart quickly with the wrong message.
As we make that difficult segue into purely football conversation, we have to make note, Shock Linwood is a player that is going to be setting records every time he touches the ball.
Timmy, he's 107 yards shy of Walter Abercrombie's long-standing mark, 35 years, over 3,600 yards. I think he's going to get it tonight, mainly because of Baylor's focus on protecting their quarterback. He is like a lit fuse racing to a point to explode. They'll have to find a solution. And then the opposite side, Ben Hicks, the quarterback, the more conventional stand-in-the-pocket guy, will be called on to deliver these ponies a victory today. It's going to be very difficult because you know Phil Bennett is going to bring pressure early and often because of his one-dimensional style of play. We'll see if Ben Hicks can stand tall.
He is a redshirt freshman taking over for a senior, Mike Davis, who injured his ACL. The Baylor Bears make their way out onto the field, and they'll meet Waco's own Hicks, who played at Midway High School, who'll be taking snaps after this. Game there at Stillwater, with Central Michigan pulling one of the big upsets of the season thus far. We welcome you to Waco, Texas, here at McLean Stadium. SMU's already had the ball for one series, shanked a punt of 14 yards, and the Baylor Bears are about to get it for the very first time today. Scoreless, Tim Brando along with Spencer Tillman, Bruce Feldman patrolling the sidelines.
Tim, it's going to be interesting to see if Baylor continues the theme that has defined them leading into this first game of last week of this season. And then today, the second game, it's all about the power rushing game to set up their passing attack, coming with trips to the numbers. Empty backfield, though, this time. Certainly a pass here.
Seth Russell, one of the true team leaders. Big-time talent coming back off of that incredible injury that's set him down the second half of last season after 7 games. KD Cannon is certainly a go-to guy in the what to watch for aspect of this game.
Well, this offense alternates between calm and explosive power. He's got to be the guy that you pay attention to, because they're going to go to him, Timmy, to try to find big plays down the field. And, of course, Horace Richardson, opposite of him, number 9, complimenting, will try to be the defense.
That's Chris Platt, number 14, on the receiving end there, sophomore from Willis, Texas. Out to the 29, they go tempo, and right away, this is what Russell can bring to you. He can beat you both with his arm and his legs. An amazing athlete, this young man. He threw for 2,104 yards before the season-ending spinal injury last year. They go wide receiver screen, and SMU stuffed it at the point of attack. Lynx Hawthorne hammered by Jordan Wyatt, the sophomore from Wiley, Texas East High School, number 15, making the stop.
Wyatt came up like Wyatt Earp with a bad attitude at that point of attack and blew that play up. That's how you play on the opposite side of the ball. And they're going to need to be that aggressive to disrupt this Baylor group. Sometimes as many as 5 wides when they empty the field, as they did this afternoon. You're going to see that formation a lot today.
Second down and 14. Shock Linwood, the lone setback, out of the gun. Kyle Fuller, the veteran center, with a bunch of newbies around him, snaps it back. Linwood takes it ahead to about the 32, maybe the 33. Anthony Roan, 48, made the stop.
Anthony Roan showing you some of his physical speed and athleticism to get to the point of attack on that play and minimize the yardage.
Yeah, they're going to say got nothing, so we'll call it 3rd and 14. I thought he picked up a yard. Here's Linwood. He has those short, choppy steps. He'll take it in space from time to time. Gets out ahead to the 37-yard line that time. Justin Lawler, number 99, a real leader of that SMU defense. Defensive coordinator Van Malone. Everyone remembers him in this state.
Oh, yeah.
4-year letterman at Texas was Malone, the defensive coordinator back in the early 90s. James Prochet, number 3, is back deep. Redshirt freshman from Dallas. And Drew Galitz will boot it away.
I remember Coach Malone back in the olden days in Houston when he played some high school football way long time ago.
Yes, it was. Some pressure up the middle that time. Beautiful high boot. Fair catch called for, and they'll let it bounce. Baylor will down it at the 25-yard line. We're just underway after a 38-yard boot by Galitz. Mustangs and Bears, an old Southwest Conference rivalry renewed. First quarter at McLean Stadium. FS1 College Football is presented by Geico. We welcome you back to McLean Stadium here in Waco, Texas. Tim Brando alongside Spencer Tillman. We welcome those of you that just joined us from that incredible upset win for Central Michigan at Oklahoma State. But this is the first nationally televised game, Spencer, here at Baylor since the firing of Art Briles over the allegations, obviously, and sexual assault charges that were brought against several of his players. And now here we go with Jim Grove trying to put a new face, if he can, on this program. As you see, SMU going right up the gut. And great yardage picked up that time by Kamon Freeman, number 29. But I'd really love to get your thoughts, if at all possible, in the plight that Grove has under these most difficult circumstances.
Well, it is difficult, and again, there is no manual for how to manage this situation. And again, it's going to pale in comparison putting the game plan together for these types of situations that are insignificant, in my opinion, compared to what he's got to face and deal with. You've got two constituencies here. There's always been an uneasy tension between highly successful athletic programs like Baylor has become and, of course, the general public outside the Baylor Bear family. It's those people who you have to craft your message to and make sure you're on point, because the wheels can fall off very quickly with the wrong message.
Prochet takes the swing pass. And he gets it inside the Baylor 30 down to the 28-yard line. Orion Stewart, number 28, making the tackle. Now, Art Briles was interviewed earlier today. At some point, we'll discuss that. This pass is caught. Prochet again. And he ducks under to about the 23. Head for maybe 2. Negligible gain there. We'll call it 3. Second down and 7 coming up.
That was a well-designed cluster play with a natural pick taking place. And Prochet did a great job of being patient. The equivalent of what a runner must do behind the line of scrimmage. Slow to and fast through at the line of scrimmage. In this case, you've got 2 receivers downfield blocking for you, trying to create an opportunity. Great job of navigating.
Freeman, the freshman from Texarkana, remains in the backfield, and he'll take it right through that A-gap. Flags down as he gets inside the 20 to about the 17-yard line. Looked like there may have been a face mask, but we'll wait for the call.
A personal foul, grabbing the face mask by number 19 of the defense. The penalty is half the distance to the goal, and it's an automatic first down.
Here it is, Timmy, the ride and mesh at the point here, and you can see, again, the face of the mask of the running back. The hand to the face was clearly seen there by the back judge. He's looking at the same thing you're looking at, and it's that left hand that turns that head around, and believe me, they'll catch that one every time, Tim.
Raekwon Davis, number 19, the guilty party. Well, you see the circumstances and penalty yards over the last handful of years. This is a fade into the corner for Sutton. And he's got a 6'4", 216-pound body that our friend Bruce Feldman would call freaky for good reason. And he comes down gingerly, and that's of great concern, as is concern for Ryan Reed, the best corner and the leader of this defense for Phil Bennett, who's also getting up gingerly.
Well, Reed is an outstanding defender, but you can see Cortland here, the nice outcut. I love the cut down split that gives him an opportunity to take advantage of the wide side of the field. The ball just beyond his reach, and he tweaked his back there as he came down on his back hard, trying to make an outstanding play. Almost got close, but that's a tough fall.
I think he actually fell on the foot of Reed. And Reed, of course, came down the wrong way, too. Trying to get the kinks out as he heads to the sidelines. Pre-snap whistle. Well, they're tending to him. He appears to be okay, does.
Please set the game clock to 9:54. 9:54.
Just an issue with the clock. Second down and goal. In motion is Castillo. And K'Mon Freeman gets it down to the 6. He mark it at the 7, actually, a yard behind where I previously thought it wound. Just underway here at McLean Stadium, Waco, Texas.
Yardage is going to be tough to come by against this Phil Bennett coach defense, Tim. They swarm around. They're not the unit that they were a year ago. They lost a great number of guys to the NFL, but they still run and chase about as good as team any in the Big 12 for sure.
Watch Sutton. He's down at the bottom of your screen, back into the game.
Switch route. Nice.
Oh, boy, it was there. Poor pass. Prochet, the intended receiver, and marker down. I think it may have been those trying to defend Sutton. It was poorly thrown by Hicks, but the marker may be bailing them out. Cooper Castleberry is our referee today. Keeping it in the family, too, the back judge, Trey Castleberry.
Pass interference by number 16 of the offense.
Ooh,
the
it's on
is
Sutton.
Declined, and it's 4th down.
Wow, a push off by Sutton. It was a pick.
Well, you can see the switch route down here.
Yeah.
And it's right there in front of him. Again, it's clear, magnified by the fall. But again, when you're running those types of screens and pick type plays, you better make sure it's incidental in the eyes of the umpire that's trying to see that. You have to be on your way to another route. You can't be headed toward your destination. They'll find that out every time.
That was an armbar. 24-yard try here for Josh Williams last week. He made a 29-yarder in the victory against North Texas in Denton, just outside Dallas. And the Mustangs take a 3-0 lead. When we return, something that may shock you. It has for years here. The senior from Linden, Texas, Shock Linwood. When we come back. Let's take a look at our Ford keys to the game, Spencer.
Timmy, we unpacked it kind of earlier a little bit. We talked about the wide receiver Cortland Sutton of SMU. He can't be a one-trick pony. Phil Bennett has already attacked him. They've had some issues with penalties that negated some would-be opportunities for SMU. Ultimately, it's going to be a balancing act for Baylor. Make no mistake about it. They want to be physical and establish the run, but they scored on their first 7 possession in the opener last week, achieving balance. So now, if you're SMU, you got to find a way to deal with both aspects of their games that's firing on all cylinders right now.
Josh Williams will kick it away. Last week against Northwestern State from nearby Natchitoches, Louisiana, Baylor scored on all 7 possessions, 5 touchdowns and 2 field goals early on. And here is Jermichael Hastings. This is a kid you're going to hear a lot more about. 5'9" freshman from Longview, Texas.
Longview, Texas, the Lobos.
Yeah, 25 yards on that return. Shock Linwood, as we touched on, is going after record after record. Went for 97 yards of his 107. And Walter Abercrombie is about to fall, and so many others too. It's amazing, isn't it? What he's been able to do.
2-time All Big 12, 14 100-yard games. By the way, you're talking about records. He's 2 rushing TDs from breaking Alfred Anderson's 33-year-old mark of 35. So he's got a lot of wood to chop, but some targets inside.
Back shoulder throw to Katie Cannon complete for a first down, and the other number 9, Ryan Reed, leaving, and that is a huge loss for Baylor. One of the things that they face because of the circumstances off the field, the lack of depth. They will miss him at cornerback the rest of this game and the short-term future. That pass was intended for Chris Platt. Incomplete. Second down and 10 coming up.
Timmy, sometimes it's tough to quantify the effect and impact of a player like Reed. He was one of the key cogs in keeping things settled around here after the difficult offseason that was. He's a key. He's going to be missed on and off the field.
Little curl pattern to Hawthorne. And Lynx Hawthorne, who was forced to play some quarterback, outstanding athlete a year ago, gets it out to midfield. Darion Malines, 29, making the stop.
He had one catch for 45 yards last week and played receiver, but he can also return punts as well. They may even insert him in their quarterback if they have to.
3rd and 5. Incomplete. Pass was thrown behind Katie Cannon. Horace Richardson, the best cover corner that they have at SMU, was there to provide the coverage. He had 2 interceptions last week. He's had 6 in his career. 4th down and 5, and they will boot it away. You noticed Russell waited a while. They are accustomed to going for it many times over. Kendall Briles is still calling the plays. This staff is intact. Phil Bennett still runs the defense. KB, as he's affectionately known, they're talking with Russell, is the offensive coordinator, the son of Art, which has only made, I think, the soap opera that is this circumstance all the more interesting to watch unfold this season. Fair catch is called for by Prochet at the 8-yard line. A 44-yard boot. We will see more of Cortland Sutton. He was a freshman All-America a year ago. Larry Brown got him on the court at SMU. Now he's beginning to concentrate on the oblong ball. That's defensive coordinator Van Malone of SMU. Has to be happy his team has stopped Baylor their first couple of possessions. FS1 football presented by Geico. As we come back to play, the ball at the 8-yard line, 1st and 10, and Braden West will tote it. And he gets it out to the 10 for a gain of 2. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Timmy, given SMU's situation at quarterback with Hicks, the more conventional quarterback in the game, and the pace of this game, this is playing right into their hands right now. You don't see the team that scored in Baylor on its first 7 possessions last week really getting after it. It's really about SMU. And they made some mistakes on the offensive side of the ball, miscues by the quarterback not being able to get on the mark with his attempts. But it's SMU that's hanging into this game.
2nd and 8. West burrows ahead for about a yard, maybe 2. 3rd and 6. Raekwon Davis making the stop. Again, the story on Matt Davis, who was injured. He's not able to go today. We hope to hear, in fact, the SMU people are telling me we'll hear more on his set of circumstances on Monday. And we see a change being made in the lineup on 3rd down and 6, which is coming up. It's Braden West in the backfield. Hicks remains in at quarterback on 3rd down and 6. Play fake. Ooh, dangerous pass, but Sutton's got it out ahead for a 1st down to the 22. That was a gamble by the corner who was going for the pick. It was Jamison Houston. He missed it, which enabled the 1st down, a 10-yard gain.
Hicks got a big arm, though, and even though he doesn't run it, he occasionally will, and they know they have to. Joe Craddock, the offensive coordinator, will have him pull it down in safe scenarios just to keep this defense honest.
They do have. He actually beat out Darryl Colbert, the sophomore from Lamar in Houston, to be the backup quarterback behind Davis. But I think in terms of the progressions and running this offense, again, that one was almost intercepted. Sutton working against Davion Hall that time. It'll be 3rd down and 8 coming up. I think in talking with Chad Morris, he's very comfortable with Hicks because he loves seeing him go through the progressions and really get it to the playmakers. Davis, a lot of times it was one read and tuck it.
Well, listen, Tim, he had offers from Michigan, Houston, Texas Tech. I mean, this is a big-time quarterback with a high completion percentage. It's just in this system, if you're Chad Morris coming from Clemson, Deshaun Watson, all of those great players that he coaches, it helped to have the dual capacity to really exploit the latitude of this offensive scheme.
On 3rd and 8. Hicks.
Nice stop run.
Oh, boy, was it ever. It's going to be caught. Sutton is a big-time talent. That's a big league throw and catch right in front of for Kedrick Vaughn's.
Well, for Kedrick Vaughn was on a comeback route. Again, he probably didn't read it, probably needed to take a peek back inside, but Sutton making pay for it. He knows he's going to about a 17 to 20-yard stopping point, and he's turning around. The defender, if you read enough film and you see it, can anticipate that.
I saw him walking off again gingerly after making
Baylor
that
calls
catch.
his first time out of the half.
Baylor's taking a timeout. I think they'd like to make the replay officials, Jeff Hansen and company, take a look at it. There you see Sutton again down on the sidelines. Second time he's come down gingerly. This one after the catch. They'll look at it. Once they do, they'll find out it's good. It's really good, if not great. It is a youth movement, no question about that. In fact, a week ago, 31 of the 47 signees played in that win at North Texas. And Cortland Sutton, we must tell you, just went to the locker room, so he will have to mend. There he is moments ago making his way there. And in addition to that, Xavier Jones is out there from time to time with a hamstring pull and was a game time decision. So they're going with their backup quarterback, and they've got some backup receivers that are on the field right now. Hicks looking long and overthrows it. Intended for Kevin Thomas.
That ball was beyond the reach of Kevin Thomas, but I think the bigger issue here now, prior to that throw, SMU had 136 total yards so far in this contest. Baylor just had a mere 32, so acquitting themselves quite well. So now you lose Sutton. You're already down to your backup quarterback, but yet the Ponies are hanging in there, Tim.
Well, not only are they hanging in there, they're leading the game. Yeah. It's rare that you'd ever say that against Baylor, particularly in this building. To see a goose egg up there has got to be shocking to the 45,000 or so that are here. Nice call. Set up a nice little screen. Braden West has it into Baylor territory on the swing pattern inside the 45 at the 43. Orion Stewart knocks him out of bounds.
Yeah, Jamison Houston was a cornerback that he made miss to make that long play work. Excellent call, navigating, slow playing it, getting positive yards upfield by West.
Came on Freeman back into the game on first down after the 13-yard pickup.
Stop.
Oh, beautiful catch. How about that from Prochet? James Prochet with a job well done right in front of Tion Wright. They go at Ryan Reed's replacement.
Well, you talk about 50-50 ball, keeping your eyes and concentrating on that one, going over the shoulder. Prochet with an outstanding physical cap. That's just, I want it more than you.
Freeman bounces off the first tackler and burrows ahead to about the 12 before whistle stops play. This is just an amazing catch.
It really is. And again, it shows you body control and athleticism. Look, he's high. That's about 38 inches off the ground he is to go up and make that catch underneath. Excellent coverage. Again, that's just taking possession of it and ownership of that ball on the 50-50 throw and catch.
As a senior at DeSoto High, he was the nation's 38th ranked wide receiver. Prochet, four-star recruit. He's big time with that one. Second down at 6. Freeman inside the 10 to about the 8. Boy, it looked like there was a lot of daylight. It closed quickly. 52, Greg Roberts, sophomore from Nacogdoches, Texas.
Well, this three-man front could feel run sometimes. He'll occasionally go with 4, but there's usually a true nose tackle there. That means they're expecting him to play a two-gap technique, but there's a big hole, a natural hole over that guard spot that was exploited by Freeman on that last play as he goes off. That's a nice piece of running there by Freeman.
This is a heck of a drive. You know, they're moving in on 4 minutes. That means you're keeping Baylor off the field. They've been shut out to this point. Braden West in the backfield. Stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Great penetration by Taylor Young. The junior can really get it done. He's got awfully quick feet and great technique. And that man, Phil Bennett, loves having him. You know, they went to a 3-man defensive front because they knew they had more depth at linebacker and in the secondary, and it's paid dividends.
It really has. You know, typically you're going to find 6, maybe 7 defensive backs, but it's rare that you're going to have to be able to platoon 8 or 9 guys in a given year. When you lose as much as they did last year to the National Football League, it's going to be tough to replace it, but a lot more athletic bodies on the back end can be recruited and replaced there.
From the 26 in the right hash, Williams Played that one like a draw and knocks it through, and the lead is 6. Last year, each team on their first 3 possessions scored touchdowns. It was a track meet. Today in this matchup, it's all about the D for SMU. Hard to believe that Southern Methodist University already has 184 total yards. Baylor only 32 on their first 2 possessions of today's game. Williams is set to kick it away. And back deep is Michael Hasty. This is a wonderful environment. My first trip into McLean Stadium since they opened it 2 years ago. Very intimate and classy setting, and Hasty brings it out. He's ahead to the 27-yard line, a 23-yard return stopped by Kevin Johnson. Tonight, the rivalry continues when BYU faces Utah at 7 Eastern on Fox. Then it's Texas Tech. Patrick Mahomes and the Red Raiders go up against Arizona State. The Sun Devils, what a fun game that one ought to be. First one to, what, 60?
65, I was going to say 60.
That's right here on FS1.
There'll be some fireworks tonight in that one.
Yes, indeed. 3:32 remaining in the opening quarter. Linwood. Out of yard or so. Boy, the defensive front's getting some push. Kyron Mitchell, number 11, the linebacker on the right-hand side from Houston, Texas, makes the stop.
Yeah, Mitchell did a great job of coming off the numbers. He's playing with some help behind him. 3 defenders. He's doing it again, playing the run support.
Russell's pass, quick out to K.D. Cannon. And he gets it out to the 36-yard line as they try to go as fast as they possibly can, looking to get into SMU territory. They were stopped shy of midfield, and on 4th and 5 elected to punt it away. Now on 3rd and 1, Linwood again goes forward and has the first down.
Yeah, they're going to get the first down, but Van Malone, the defensive coordinator for SMU, has done his homework. Again, playing to the field with a safety that's free to come in and prevent Shock Linwood from getting those explosive plays that kind of defined his career. They did their homework. This is outstanding defensive scheme here once again.
Again, they go quickly to K.D. Cannon, and he's thrown back by Horace Richardson.
Well,
lassoed him there,
yeah,
didn't
he did. Richardson's playing a catch technique, bailing out of there, but when he comes up, believe me, he knows exactly what his question is. He answers it with an exclamation point and finishes it off with authority. A little souflex there.
2nd and 5. It pops free for Linwood. Now, you think of Baylor as an outstanding passing team. Rodney Clemens, number 8, made the stop, but they've always run it well. They had 2 1,000-yard rushers. Only 7 teams in FBS football had that a year ago. Johnny Jefferson was the other. It was announced earlier this week that he's out of school for the remainder of this semester. Going deep. Incomplete. Intended for Platt. Number 14. Darion Malines was back there with him, number 29, the strong safety.
Timmy, to finish your thought, again, you can still see the remnants of Bill Yeoman's influence on Art Briles and Kendall, now the current offensive coordinators, impact on this offense. The veer concept still a major part of what they're doing in between the tackles.
2nd down and 10 coming up. Terrence Williams, the sophomore from Ennis, Texas, is checked in now for Kendall Briles. You see there next to head coach Jim Grove, and we've got a pre-snap flag.
A false start by number 55 of the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty, and it's still 2nd down.
We had a long conversation with Seth Russell, the senior from Garland, Texas, and you know, his numbers are incredible, following a long line of successful quarterbacks here. But I think more than anything else, his story of what happened with his summer was as inspirational and as off the charts as any I can recall. Again, going deep for Cannon. He was actually out of bounds, and had he caught it, it probably would not have counted. Horace Richardson was there with him, and in that coverage forced him out. 3rd down and 15 coming up.
You're talking about Seth's stalwart resilience that he had to demonstrate over a roller coaster type offseason. Again, he obviously had the neck injury that he had to deal with, surgery to repair that. Got engaged along the way, so that was one of the high points of it. But then you're on a mission trip and you get the news that the bottom has fallen out of the program.
That pass, a quick slant for Platt, falls incomplete. Outstanding coverage, good contact made there. Baylor's safeties have really played well, as have the linebackers. Jackson Mitchell was right there from South Lake Lamar High. Senior number 44, breaking that one up.
Indeed, and to complete the thought on the quarterback again, Tim, it was really kind of an example of what happens in life in the broader context. That he chalked it up to experience, and he's better for it, more resilient as a quarterback and as a leader on this team.
Crochet will be on the receiving end. That should be a penalty, unless they got a hand on it. I don't think they did. Kiefer Roberts, 39, got through there, and you can see Galitz is on the ground. He didn't get all of it, so I thought for a moment they may have deflected it.
The defense, the 15-yard penalty, and an automatic first down.
Yeah, Chad can't believe it. They were going for the block here, though, and he just missed it.
Yeah, well, Kiefer's a defensive lineman. You can see him. He doesn't change direction extremely well. He tried to. He knew it immediately. That right hand goes to the turf, and you can see him trying to fight off a blocker there. But number 39 is used to running through folks. That's what they're taught to on the defensive line, and he just couldn't pull off there before he ran into the kicker.
Galitz was going for the pooch punt, which meant he was dropping it straight down with the nose of the ball to be hit, and really didn't get all of it. It almost appeared as if SMU, as I looked at it live, may have gotten a hand on it, but they did not. Good call. And the drive stays alive for Baylor. Big break here. Let's see if the Bears, who amazingly have been shut out at home in this first quarter so far, can get something going. Williams, a little extra effort gets him to the 30-yard line. Malines again on the stop from Boynton Beach, Florida, number 29.
Yeah, Malines, and again, all of these cornerbacks and these safeties are playing very aggressive, close to the line of scrimmage, aware of this vaunted rushing attack of Baylor.
And again, going quickly, flags fly prior to the snap. Should be a false start.
A false start by number 64, the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty, and it's still second down.
Dom DeSouza, the guilty party there, number 64, the left tackle. 4 new offensive linemen flanking Kyle Fuller, the senior, preseason All-America. He's on every watch list there is, the center for this Baylor program. That's where they took the majority of their losses in both the offensive and defensive fronts from that team a season ago. On the slant to Chris Platt. He will get it down to about the 3. Jordan Wyatt saves the touchdown. Flags down back at the line of scrimmage, though.
Jordan Wyatt was really in high step in the hip pocket.
Wow. Illegal man downfield, and I believe it was Fuller, the center.
Well, Baylor's one of the most penalized teams in the nation, and Arbrow's son, Kendall, not appreciative of that. Does an outstanding job of coming on the out route underneath this. It was cleared out for him.
Oh, wow. Wow.
That's a questionable call.
Yeah, it's 3+ yards. Fuller did get down about 4.5, but you rarely see that one called. It is a point of emphasis this season, though, particularly when you hear the coaches talking about run-pass options, the RPOs as it goes. It has become a point of emphasis, and Fuller, the veteran, was tagged that time. 2nd and 16. Quick out to Cannon, and KD is stopped in his tracks by Richardson, number 9.
Well, these corners are really stepping up. You know, we talked about Justin Lawler, the defensive end, number 99, and then Nick Horton, number 23, out of Garland, Texas. But it's these corners and these slot defenders, Richardson chief among them, that have really been stepping up, keeping this vaunted attack of Baylor in control.
Again, trying to go quickly, outfoxing themselves.
A false start by number 7 of the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty, and it's still 3rd down.
Lynx Hawthorne this time in the slot position gets caught. 5 penalties, 29 yards, and they've come at inopportune times for the Bears here in the opening quarter. And after that huge break for running into the kicker, they've gone backwards ever since. And it's rare that you would see a Baylor team, even with that much time, surrender the quarter like that. But they have. Let's regroup, talk about it as we go into the second quarter. It's been a long while since anyone here has seen Nata Senor on the scoreboard after 1 at McLean Stadium. It's SMU 6-0. Surprise, surprise. FS1 College Football is presented by Geico. Second quarter play just underway, and the opening toss is caught at the 20-yard line. Pooh Strickland, known as Devontre by his mom, but he answers to Pooh here, the redshirt freshman from right here in Waco. In fact, was a teammate in high school of Ben Hicks.
Ball out of his hand.
Russell lost it, gets back on top of it, just shy of the 20-yard line.
Russell never really had a grip on that ball when they brought it out, tried to seat it properly. Never had control of it.
By the way, if you were wondering, the last time a non-conference opponent shut out Baylor here in Waco, it was the University of Louisiana Monroe in 2012. Baylor went on to win the game 47-42. Chuck Linwood takes it inside the 20 to about the 18. Now, Texas shut them out throughout after they had all the injuries, and Lynx Hawthorne was having to play quarterback at the end of last season. It was obviously they were a shell of their former selves by the time they got to year's end with all of the injuries they had. Stidham, who came in after Russell was also hurt, he's since transferred. That pass is incomplete. Pressure up the middle that time from SMU. It was linebacker R.C. Cox that got through there.
R.C. Cox is coming late. You can see the twin blitz here from the inside. You got to pick them all up. Each one reach ones, and they don't. Number 32 wearing that old number Craig James wore back in the day. Sliding through there for a score. On the quarterback.
32 was the receiver.
So it is fourth down, and they'll be forced to kick. Chris Callahan at a 40-yarder a week ago will try from 35 yards. Out of the hold of Cole Edmonston. Hard to believe, but it's a battle of field goals in Waco. Baylor is on the board, but trails by 3 at home. SMU leads it by 3 with Spencer Tillman and Bruce Feldman, Tim Brando. And I know, Bruce, you're down on that sidelines on the SMU side. They've got to have a good vibe.
They do, Tim. Young Ben Hicks is really fired up. He went to each member of his offense and said, listen, I am tired of kicking field goals. We need touchdowns to win this game. Also, Cortland Sutton, their great young receiver, he sprinted out of the locker room. He looks like he's fine. Gave the guys high five. He's ready to go, too, now.
Very important that they have him. And talking with Chad Morris, he said, Tim, this kid can play anywhere. No doubt about it.
Well, there's no question. He's an elite talent, Tim.
Yes.
And again, it's about transferring that and understanding, as we said at the top of the show, they can't be a one-trick pony. They've got to get some help from some other position. Because eventually, sharp as Phil Bennett is as a coordinator, they'll find a way to banjo coverage him inside and out to limit his damage.
Galitz boots it away, and Kevin Thomas will think better of it. Let's get back to Los Angeles. A game break with Mike Hill.
All right, guys, top-ranked Alabama so impressive last week against USC, taking on Western Kentucky. Jalen Hurts looking good so far, finds the All-American Calvin Ridley for the 4-yard score. Ridley 5 catches, 98 yards receiving so far. The Tide up 10-3 in the second. Tim Spencer, back to you.
Hey, I got to tell you, some of those teams outside the power conferences against the SEC have fared pretty well, including today, Nicholls State against Georgia. Took them to the wire
It's
earlier
clear
today.
It's clear that the SEC and other programs, for that matter, still adjusting to this spread era, not completely acclimated to the pace and tempo. They can run and chase for a while, but boy, if you're successful against them long term, spread can really hurt those big guys.
Ahead came on Freeman beyond the 25 to about the 27-yard line on first down.
Timmy, in case you're interested, I think the last time SMU had a win over a ranked opponent, it was 2005 against TCU. And it was 86 against Baylor. We've got to go back a long way for that. But I'm telling you, the tenor of this game, as it's changing here, that should be a penalty.
I know there's no face guarding in the collegiate game, but guess that's a flag.
Yeah, absolutely.
Verkedrick Vaughns, the guilty party against Cortland Sutton.
Yeah, he's trying to sell it and feign ignorance on that play, but clearly I think there was contact downfield. And as you said, no face guarding at the collegiate level, but you can't impede the receiver catching the ball.
Cooper Castleberry is our referee. We'll hear from him again. Ongoing conversation with the side judge.
Pass interference by number 27 of the defense. It's a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
So that's what it is. It's contact. Again, you can see the bump off the press coverage.
Yeah,
and at the last moment, there's no face guarding, just physical contact.
We could just say mugging.
Yeah.
Right?
211 in progress.
We don't call it face guard. There is no such thing as face guarding, but you can be guilty of interference when it looks like that. 1st and 10.
A little sneak blitz here.
Off the corner, some pressure, and Hicks has it batted down. Incomplete. It was Levels that leveled him. A lot of pressure coming in on both edges that time. An all-out onslaught from Phil Bennett's D.
You had Levels coming down here, and then you have pressure coming from up top as well. In the middle from both sides. That's what Phil Bennett does exceptionally well. And again, you can see Greg Roberts there.
Made the play.
Tremendous job with the tip.
I mean, he just unloaded it, Spencer. There was nothing else for him to do.
What are you going to do? He's in your face, man.
2nd and 10. Again, that quick curl, and it's effective to the tight end, Mitchell Kaufman, number 24. And the sophomore from Highland Park, Dallas, gets out for a first down. Stewart again, who's been very busy for Baylor in their perimeter, makes the stop.
Really impressed with what SMU is doing, moving down the field with confidence.
Really well-coached team. Shouldn't be at all surprised. Chad Morris now in his 2nd season. Sutton was the intended receiver. You know, they went 2-10 last year. They did get the win against North Texas on the road last week. But I tell you, the seeds have been sown. He decided, look, we're going to do this the old-fashioned way with freshmen. We're not going to go out and get some early wins by bringing in a lot of junior college players and transfers. And I think the foundation is pretty solid with that guy at the helm.
Yep.
2nd and 10. Again, pressure. Hicks dumps it, unloads it to Crochet. He is a nifty runner, and he gets it out for a first down to the 37-yard line, an 11-yard pickup.
And Hicks did a nice job of diagnosing exactly what was coming his way with the pressure. He allowed it to close and then dumped it off to Crochet, who got additional yardage. That was a well-designed play, well-executed play at the proper time.
Okay. On first down, Hicks airmailed that one intended for Crochet.
Got away from him there.
2nd and 10 coming up. He says, my bad, to the youngster from Dallas. Redshirt freshman. So many of them out there for this team. 11 of 20 for 166 here in the early going for the local star here in Waco.
Well, he was 5 of 9 for 145 yards and 1 touchdown. Of course, he had that big 88-yarder to Sutton last week. And again, I know the competition is less. But let me tell you, it's about confidence. That's where confidence comes from, demonstrated ability.
A false start by number 3 of the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty, and it's still 2nd down.
Let's go down to Bruce Feldman.
Timmy, Ryan Reed, Baylor's terrific cornerback, who went off the field on crutches. They x-rayed him, but x-rays were negative. The trainer told me they're going to reevaluate him at halftime to see if he can come back in this game.
Well, that's good news. Really good news, because they need him.
Timmy, so many times a player's emotional state can impact players, even if he's on the bench.
Oh, yeah.
If he's a proven leader on the team.
2nd and 15. That's Gaines in motion. The tight end. Delay to Freeman. Came on Freeman. They're down to the 31-yard line of Baylor. Davion Hall making the tackle.
I can tell Joe Crawford and Chad Morris have gotten together and decided to use the speed and quicknesses of Baylor against them. It's almost like judo, Timmy. They will come and see that you're stemming this direction and delay and then come back the opposite of direction. That's just good game planning and understanding how a defense is trying to defend what you do best. And that's a real-time in-game decision, because we didn't see that type of play until this point. Once they get a beat on what Phil Bennett is doing from a defensive standpoint, boy, it's all about real-time adjustment. And Chad Morris and Joe Crawford, his offensive coordinator, are doing it in a big way right now.
I think a timeout taken by Chad Morris. His club has got control of this one early in the 2nd quarter. SMU leads it 6-3. Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with The Mission Continues as we commemorate the 15th anniversary of the events of 9/11. All over the country, The Mission Continues is bringing together veterans and civilians through local service projects and honoring this day in history by giving back to our communities. Visit foxsportssupports.com to learn more. And today is Military Appreciation Day here at McLean Stadium.
We sure appreciate the military and all branches that protect our nation. I had the pleasure of doing leadership training with Brian Billick and others in Afghanistan and Iraq. Proud of our nation.
3rd down and 6. Pressure. Hicks is down at the 35. Some off the edge. He moved forward and right into the awaiting arms of senior Avion Edwards, who prepped at Stephenville.
Well, you can see Hicks. He gets it and seats it properly. His eyes are upfield and he comes back to his right. But the pressure is also to meet him in the face as well to make sure he doesn't get a chance to go through his progression to make a play. That's tough going right there now. You know, the fun thing about watching Phil Bennett, what he does, he'll experiment until he finds the matchup. There is always one matchup on the field that you can exploit. And it's a real-time process of discerning where that is from a coordinator standpoint to match it on the field.
Sackville will punt it away. Looks for
nice
the pooch punt, but it's just into the end zone for a touchback. Will the senior quarterback get it going? Seth Russell, where have you been? Coming up, Baylor tries to get their offense tops in scoring the last 3 years to get cranked up. These were the numbers for Seth Russell last year in this game. They wound up winning at 56-21. It was tied at 21 before they went on a scoring barrage. Not at all on pace today for that kind of performance last year, this year.
Tim, what you do as an analyst, you learn to rely on what you see. You say what you see. And right now what's missing, this Baylor team is one-dimensional. We talked about how physical they want to be.
Looping it long and incomplete. Intended for K.D. Cannon. Pretty good coverage again by Horace Richardson. I tell you, he may be beat a step or two, but look how he attacks the ball as a defender.
Well, the ball was a little bit over his shoulder. He had to adjust to it, so that's great defense as well. And K.D. just beyond his outstretched hands to pull that one in.
The contact was right when you needed the contact.
Yep.
He's solid, Richardson. Linwood bouncing outside. Head to the 22. You're right. They have looked one-dimensional. But at the same time, I think some of these cover corners, including Richardson, are surprising the Baylor receivers.
Yeah, I think you're right, Tim. But here's the bottom line. Your quarterback has 4 yards rushing on 2 carries. You're playing essentially one-handed. Everybody knows you're going to pass. You're not a rushing threat. When you go empty like this, 5-by, we know that you're passing the ball. So now I play back nifty.
Yeah, 3rd down and 8. That crossing pattern is incomplete. Platt extended himself as best he could. And it's 4th down and a punt formation coming up. And you're right, Seth, because of his injury, let's face it, he's got to stay healthy too. And he doesn't appear to be a threat to run the ball.
And you got to make those difficult catches and help your quarterback out. Right. You got to pay for it, and you got to make sure that you pay off those tough throws, given the fact that you are one-dimensional. I mean, for so many years, Baylor is considered 3rd down and short of medium, just like a running play. And they'll pass it any down.
Galitz to punt it away. Beautiful punt this time. Prochet is back deep. Reels it in at the 23 and is down immediately. Outstanding coverage there. Davion Hall. First to get there after a 54-yard boot. Mustangs have come in saying that we're ready to make our case. Going to break, making a case, SMU. It's a big story. Who will be the next entrance into a 14-team Big 12? Could it be SMU that's the 4th? Cincinnati, Houston, and BYU are your favorites, right, Spence?
Yeah, I really like them. And SMU is doing a pretty good impersonation of the Cougars right now.
Stopped in his tracks, Braden West, off tremendous penetration from Patrick Levels, number 21, the senior from Roosevelt High School in Dallas. 2nd and 14 after the loss of 4.
Timmy, again, just a big picture thought to put this thing in context. Remember now, Baylor is a rushing team, right? They were 2nd in the nation in rushing, 326 yards. Right now, they got 32 yards rushing in this contest. They were 24th in passing. They are a one-dimensional team right now, not doing what they do best very well.
Braden West pops free, gets it out to the 25-yard line. So not only to the line of scrimmage, but beyond it by 3 yards. Ira Lewis, number 97, made the stop. The big fella had a big game a week ago against Northwestern State. He was actually more impressive than even his head coach, Jim Grove, thought he might be. Obviously a gamer, showing some quickness that they had not seen in practice.
Yeah, they'll play him in a 3 technique, which is right off the nose, and then maybe in between that guard, but he shows the ability to penetrate very effectively.
He comes in again. They loop one long, and it's incomplete. Prochet had one arm on it and a hand extended, but he could not bring it in. Wow, that was close.
You can see that on the backside, that's right. He's on right in the trail technique in his hip pocket. And boy, he just got burned on that one. And Hicks knows he just put it beyond him.
I got to tell you, I thought he nonchalanted that, Spence.
Yeah.
I thought that was catchable. Prochet went out. To me, if he extends, that's a touchdown.
Well, I
think he knows it, too.
Yeah, I think he's disappointed. He probably didn't find it. I don't know if he lost it or not, but this is the type of kid, his personality. He's not going to jig-leg anything. He's going to go one out 100% every single time.
Sackville is in a position to punt. I think you may be right in that he may have not seen the ball until it was a little bit late.
Number 32 of the offense. The 5-yard penalty, and it's still 4th down.
So it's a false start against R.C. Cox, and they'll move it back and punt it away yet again. This should get it off around the 10-yard line. Tony Nicholson, number 13, redshirt freshman from Grand Prairie, is back deep. Angles it for the boundary. Nicholson lost it. Just did manage to grasp it as he was knocked down. A 37-yard boot, -2 on the return.
Well, it's the English on that ball that did it. It's a corner kick, and it's a well-designed effort to put him in that corner, and the nice integrity on the coverage lanes by SMU. You got to seat that ball properly to have a chance to help this Baylor team that desperately needs special teams. And when talking to Jim Grove yesterday, he said that's one of the areas where he wanted to make his mark, pretty much leave everything else that's going along successfully, the offense and, of course, to a lesser extent, the defense. But they made changes there. But it's special teams that he wants to improve, and they certainly could have used a break there on that one.
Terrence Williams is in the backfield. See the run-pass ratio to this point. They haven't been very successful, that's for sure. Williams spun down after a gain of about 2. Spence, I want to go back for a moment to the conference affiliation conversation, because SMU is very much in that conversation. Rick Hart is their new athletic director. You know a thing or two about the history of this league as it relates to SMU's qualifications, both academically and from a football standpoint. Where do you really think they reside?
Well, as an academic institution there, it's hands down. I mean, listen, the parties involved in it, being an Oklahoma Sooner and understanding what people who are in leadership position, as Chad Morris looks on, like David Bourne at Oklahoma, they're about gravitas and status, and it matters. And that's just the world that we live in. SMU is deserving. They should be in consideration, in my opinion. If you're looking for a qualified team on the come offensively, oh my God, there we go defensively too.
Jordan Wyatt takes it. And he's inside the 15 at the 12-yard line.
Wow.
Boy, oh boy. Is it game on now or just what?
Well, this is upset in the making big time, Tim. You can see this ball comes out. Russell was eyeing it the whole time. Squats on it. Wyatt heads the opposite direction after he sees that ball. But again, it was reading it from the time it left the arm of the quarterback, staring him down. The eyes are clearly headed that direction. Wyatt just squats on that ball and just drives and makes an outstanding defensive play.
Mims was the man that took him out of bounds. But you're right, he was sitting on that one all the way. Big play defensively, and the problems for Seth Russell and this, as you pointed out earlier, Spencer, one-dimensional offense continues.
Well, this is a dangerous position for this team to be. They knew that they were going to have to take on a different identity because their quarterback was not going to be rushing the ball much like he did because of his neck injury. The running back, Shock Linwood and company, would have to step up. And if they started relying on the passing game, they're in trouble, Tim.
Looping it on the fade. It's reeled in by Sutton. Incomplete, though. He did not have control as he was headed out of bounds. He's begging for it, but Tion Wright was there providing coverage And the side judge says he did not have control.
Last week against soft coverage here, he had 162 yards on 4 catches. He does a great job of just out-physicaling the guy to the point there. Came up with it, just was out of bounds, but outstanding job by Sutton fighting for that one.
It's control that was the issue.
Yeah, no question. He didn't have total control when he came down and completed that move. If he did, it's 6 points.
2nd and 10.
Nice.
Pass was thrown behind the receiver, Prochet, on the quick slant.
Well, if Hicks puts that on the mark, Prochet hits his head on the goalpost, because that slant route was impossible to cover. Had a nice angle on the slant, had man-to-man coverage. That's what you want to do, is you want to put your receiver in between the defender and the ball with a full head of steam. Chad Morris has seen that route many times, particularly the last 2 years. He was a high school head coach in Lake Travis when they went undefeated back-to-back 16-0 seasons.
3rd and 10. Into the corner, it's intercepted. Orion Stewart takes it out of the air.
Orion Stewart turned into Orion the Hunter on that play, and he plucked that one out of the air with intention. But this is an NFL caliber interception here. Again, Hicks delivers a dart, and Orion comes underneath that ball and plucks it out of the air, high points it, and pulls it down to deny the Ponies a score. Well, that's great anticipation, understanding that he's got the in-line behind him to protect him. No chance of that ball being caught by anybody else. That's his for the taking.
Shelby Walker was the intended receiver. That's the first time he's been targeted today. And Hicks beside himself there after that turnover. Linwood, well, nothing doing at 2, maybe 3 yards. That's about it. They've not been able to get those quick bursts up the gut from Linwood that we're accustomed to see from this Baylor offensive team.
And we describe this Baylor offense as alternating between calm and explosive power. There's been a lot of calm, and not a lot of explosive power. Those plays that defined them, what they do, 20-plus yards or more, was common for this offense.
Kyron Mitchell with the stop. Gain of 4. 3rd down and 3 coming up. Linwood bounces off one tackler and is shy of the first down by about a yard.
Darian Malines came up and forced on that last play, man. I'll tell you, this back-end defense, Tim, you pointed it out earlier, they are playing at a high level right now.
Now, this is old-style Baylor. 4th and 1, and Russell's going to tote it. I think they had enough. It was like, we have to go on 4th down at some point in this offense. And that time, Kendall Briles decided to roll the dice. Let his quarterback get it done.
Yeah, it's in one of those scenarios when you didn't want to have to do it because everybody knows you needed one, and that's when they tend to load up on you.
Russell's pass is caught. That's Denzel Mims in front of Jordan Wyatt, who had the pick a few moments ago. Mims' tackle of Wyatt now looms largely in the aftermath of the turnover by SMU. He was headed for the end zone. Shot Linwood on 2nd down. And look at that penetration again from Kyron Mitchell, the right side linebacker, coming through again. Boy, Van Malone's defense is really doing the job. He played 5 years in the NFL with Detroit, finished his career in Arizona.
That NFL experience really helped him a great deal. He went through the minority program in the NFL and learned a pretty good. Look at the corners forcing.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you once again, this is just outstanding.
Terrence Williams stopped again shy of the first down. This is more of a 4th and 2, 4th and 1.5.
Rodney Clemens on that last play forcing.
Wow.
Here he is again.
I think he just did make it, Terrence Williams, but barely. I think his forward progress will give him the 41.5, and he needed the 41. You could make a case that this is alarming for Baylor to be going on 4th down from their own 20 and again from their own 40 to keep drives alive. Maybe one of those moments that we look back to as quickly a timeout is taken by SMU. They may be a little gassed after not getting off the field with two particular sequences where they were on the field on 4th and short.
In the studio, coming up on the State Farm halftime, the sights and sounds from the surreal finish in Stillwater. Some struggles in the South for Clemson and Georgia, and how Ohio State is faring ahead of their big road trip to Norman. Tim Spencer, back to you guys.
All right, Rob, thank you. That is an amazing. I would make the case that the Central Michigan win earlier today on our air here on FS1 is the, at least at this point, upset of the season.
Yeah, I think you're right there.
I mean, the Cowboys are supposed to be a factor in this league.
Yes, they are. And again, they won a lot of games last year. We called a couple of them that were close, and a lot of as a result of turnovers. I mean, they led the conference in turnovers. And you always wonder, those tend to come in bunches if you can double up year to year. Yeah. A lot of close games they won. Mike did a tremendous job with his team, but they were very, very lucky with the turnover.
Katie Cannon with that catch. Second down and 3. Terrence Williams. During that last break, when SMU took the timeout, Kendall Briles gave an earful to his offensive front.
Yeah.
I mean, an earful.
Well, that's a young group, and you can tell they just lined up and say, let's go physically try to beat this team up.
Quick out to Cannon again, and the junior from Mount Pleasant in front of Horace Richardson. Gets it near another first down. So 2nd and short here. This is where Baylor can get into gear. They can play tempo with 2nd and short situations. Well, he's got an open man. Incomplete. Pass came out a little bit late that time for Chris Platt.
Yeah,
Preseason All Big 12 a year ago. And let's go down to Bruce Feldman.
Timmy, when we talked to Jim Grobe yesterday, he said really one of the biggest concerns he had with the team personnel-wise was a rebuilt offensive line. They have struggled today to get some push and protecting Seth Russell, and obviously they had the big illegal man downfield penalty early in the game.
Yeah, that call really looms large here in the early going as Williams is stopped behind the line of scrimmage yet again.
Well, that was a gaggle of ponies on that particular play that came to the party that time, boy.
Lawler the first to get through there, 99. Had a little help from Gentry, 93.
Biggers was in there, number 94 as well. But that was a sieve of a performance by the offensive line. Pace and tempo once again. Let's see if they can convert it.
4th and 4. Third time they've gone for it on 4th down in this series. He is experienced enough that he believes the percentages are always on their side in 4-down territory. In this offense, you can do it almost anywhere. They've done it at their own 20 and 40, and now here again, it's Williams. It's open for a first down.
Well, it's a fine job of, first of all, diagnosing what was available. It was the safety that came down to cover the slot receiver that made it open. It was a brilliant read by Seth Russell, pulling it. No, I leave it in there and let the back take advantage of the guy who's vacated that spot.
Jackson Mitchell, who's played very well, number 44, a senior, one of the very few that they have on this team, favoring his left leg. Looks like he is hurt. Will take some assistance to the sidelines. I was mentioning a moment ago when talking about the SMU plight and the direction of their program. Rick Hart, who is the new athletic director, I said new, he's been there since 2012, but I'm thinking of his dad, Dave Hart. To me, any child of Dave Hart's got to be pretty new at the position. But the truth is, like a lot of athletic directors, Greg Byrne being another one, the son of a gentleman, Mr. Byrne, his dad was also the athletic director at Oregon and at Texas A&M, Bill Byrne. He's very confident that SMU can make its way into the Big 12. Swing pattern out to Linwood. Looks like we've got a flag down.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough call there. I think it was Blake Blackmore, the offensive lineman, that basically hogtied his guy and threw him to the ground.
Holding by number 72 of the offense. It's a 15-yard correction. It's a 10-yard penalty and replay first down.
That's Blake Blackmore, 72, from Clear Lake High School in Houston, Texas.
Yep, just not too far from Galveston. He gets hogtied the guy he was trying to block and threw him to the ground. It was clearly an infraction.
1st and 20. Quick slant. It's there. It's Blake Lynch, number 2. Just shy of the first down at the 21-yard line of SMU.
Well, that's a really nice strike again against pressure off the edge, and Blake Lynch was there. The eyes came from Russell immediately. Saw the pressure, delivered a strike.
Glenwood again. Look at that penetration again. Carlos Carroll, 55, shooting the gap at that middle linebacker spot. In for Roan, number 55. I mentioned that this is a team that's really providing some pressure in its interior. That's another example of it. Wide receiver screen to Cannon. And he is ushered out at the 16 and another first down. Darion Malines again the stop. Well, mark down this drive because they have converted 3 fourth-down plays, one of them a 4th and 4, the most recent one, to keep the drive alive, and they've used up a lot of clock, almost 5 minutes. Quick slant, caught, it's lost, could it be recovered? I believe it is by SMU. Lynch had it, lost it as he went in. Kevin Johnson's on top of it. It should be a touchback.
Wow.
He lost it before he went into the end zone.
I'm not sure he had total control of it when he broke the play.
Are they going to say touchdown? Oh, boy.
Wow.
That's going to be worth another look.
Well, irrespective of if they get to keep it or not, the bottom line is the ball shouldn't come out. They've got a lot of work to do. Here you can see against catch coverage, the quick slant inside. The ball is coming out. It's not past it. That ball is certainly on the way out before it crossed the plane. He kicked his knee. You can see again when that ball comes down, boop, it pops out of his knee, off of his knee.
Right there. It's out.
It's out.
Sorry, that's not a touchdown. They'll have to overrule that one. I felt that way live when I called it. I feel more that way now.
Well, you can see this is the clear angle. Our crew did an excellent job of identifying where the ball came out, clearly forced by his own left knee. No control there as he crosses the plane. That'll be a touchback.
Jeff Hansen is our replay official from the Big 12. He was with us actually last week in Morgantown, West Virginia. Yeah. And he's giving Mr. Castleberry, our referee, the news. Well, the SMU guys have looked at it. I think they pretty much know what we already do.
Yeah, well, the energy level on the sideline SMU is off the chart. They sense an opportunity here. And while they talk about it, there's no discrepancy, nothing to talk about whether or not this ball is out.
It's out. I mean, it's out by over a yard. That's
clearly.
That's out by over a yard. Trust me, had it been close, I would have waited. Well, that was the best drive of the day by far, and one they took 3 fourth-down opportunities to go for it.
And, Tim, it's the psychology of the game. There is nothing that will suck the life out of a team faster than to navigate the length of the field, only to lose it in the green zone, in this particular case, 5 yards inside. The red zone is enough, but it just takes the wind out of your sail.
It's got to be indisputable, but I think that is. We've shown a number of different angles to prove it.
Well, I'm not quite sure why this is taking so long, but it was absolutely a clear recovery. But our crew did an excellent job of showing us a previous angle where the left knee.
Yep. Kevin Johnson.
After further review, the ball was fumbled in the field of play and recovered by the defense in the end zone. It's a touchback, and it's a first down.
Boy, you talk about taking the air out of the sails after what was a 79-yard drive, Spencer. Over 5 minutes, 19 plays.
Yeah. And see, here, if you're Jim Grove and you're this bunch, you're saying, look, all these 40 years of experience I have, one thing that Jim Grove will tell you, the inner game cannot not be played. Psychologically, this young defense that's working hard to keep this team in there. The offense turns it over, gives the opposition who has them on their heels another opportunity. That's tough to get your dauber up.
Well, return to sender, missed opportunities. Baylor throws a pick in the end zone, and, SMU does, and now we have this turnover as a loose ball again as it pops free. Bears say they have it. Freeman lost it. Baylor's got it. It's Levels, Patrick Levels, that comes out of there with it.
Not every team runs well with a full cup of success, and the Ponies just figure that out. Got a gift handed to them, and then they gifted it back out.
Wow.
That's just a 2-11 in progress. Just stole it from him.
He stripped it and recovered it.
Outstanding defense right there, being ball hawking.
Boy, the ebb and flow of this one has been bizarre. Wyatt with an interception, then Hicks throws a pick in the corner of the end zone for SMU. Baylor goes 79 yards and then inadvertently loses the ball on a fumble by Blake Lynch, turns a touchdown into a touchback, and now SMU gives it back with a fumble recovered by Levels and Baylor.
A lot of giving going on today.
Yes, a lot of giving taking place, not a lot of taking. Well, don't forget, coming up at the end of the half, the State Farm halftime show. Rob Stone, Robert Smith, Matt Leinart, and Dave Wanstadt. Russell for the corner. Cannon, the intended receiver. Harrison right there with him. Boy, remember the old song, Me and My Shadow? All alone and feeling blue. Well, this guy's had some company today. KD Cannon has been in the sights of Horace Richardson, number 9, all day long, and he's done a marvelous job against him.
Yeah, Richardson played with a lot of confidence as well.
Second down. Incomplete, intended for Denzel Mims.
So Seth Russell just hadn't been on the mark today. Again, typically when you've got the run game going, guys don't have to play those soft coverages. They're busy up front trying to defend the run, but when you have as few yards rushing, you can play a deep safety back and get some extra bodies back there. So a quarterback has fewer opportunities to put that ball in the pocket.
Only played a half a week ago in the big win against Northwestern State here in their opener. He'll play longer than that today. Here goes Linwood down to the 21. And they'll have to ponder the idea of going for 3 again to tie this up. Unless, of course, they've just decided enough with that. We'll go for a touchdown. It does appear that Callahan's coming onto the field, so they will take the 3 to tie the game. Got to get some points out of this.
Either way, it's going to be a win for SMU.
Yeah. Big time win for them. Should be a 38-yard try from the right hash. And he puts it through. It hasn't been your typical SMU Baylor high-flying tote board game, has it? Only a dozen points scored between the two. Tied at 6 along with Bruce Feldman down the sidelines and Spencer Tillman here in the booth. Tim Brando, happy to have you with us. Already today on FS1, an incredible upset. The Chippewas get it done in Stillwater against Oklahoma State. 2 more coming up tonight. But right now, SMU has gone toe-to-toe with a top 25 Baylor team, expecting big things in this matchup today. Kevin Thomas is back deep. And once again, a couple of yards deep. Oh, I believe he stepped out. He's got to go now. He did step out. Gets it out to the 12-yard line. He was in no man's land there. Not at all what Chad Morris wanted from him there.
Well, Kevin Thomas is probably kicking himself for that. He sees it actually pretty well if he had any vision. First of all, number 12's got to get in front of him and help him. He didn't think he's coming out.
Yeah.
Finally realizes his feet have been out on the green carpet there.
Yeah, Kevin Johnson should have helped him. You're right.
Yeah, should have helped him out and let him know who he is. You talk about playing complementary football. Your battery mate's got to help you understand where you are as well.
So from the 10-yard line, Braden West takes it out for about almost a 10-yard gain. Could be close to a first down. Levels made the stop. It was Patrick Levels that got the takeaway to lead to the field goal to tie the game. They'll give him 9. It's 2nd and 1.
I really like West. He's out of Katy High School in the Houston area. Outstanding quick twitch guy.
Takes it again out to the 29. Taylor Young to stop. Look at Ben Hicks. He's looking to the sidelines. He wants to go in a hurry. He's looking for more, and it appears as though Chad may be putting it in deep freeze now, saying we'll take a tie and go to the locker room and come out for more in the second half.
Well, in talking to Chad and then his offensive coordinator, Joe Craddock, one of the things he said was that Hicks actually does make, I'm not going to say better decisions, but he's a little bit more judicious than the starter in some ways. I thought he would be more comfortable going pace and tempo with Hicks. But clearly not.
I think if the score is 6-6 and you're playing in Waco, you're figuring, hey, I kind of like my chances here. Why push it? Been a wacky first half in Waco. Not at all what we expected. We are tied at 6. Chad Morris's club making their case against the Baylor Bears. Right now we're going to take you to our studio where Rob Stone, a lot of company with plenty to discuss in our studios in Los Angeles. On the banks of the Brazos here in Waco, Texas, FS1 College Football presented by Geico. A Baylor offense that's held to 194 yards, only 4 of 14 on third down conversions, and Shock Linwood only 41 yards on 13 carries. Wow. Tim Brando alongside Spencer Tillman and Bruce Feldman. Well, what do you make of this?
Well, Von Malone's defense really came up to bat big time. And again, I think they thwarted this vaunted rushing attack of Baylor. And again, Horace Richardson was probably chief among them, number 9. He handled his assignment on the perimeter against the pass, but he also showed up in run support. Jordan Wyatt and company was active early and often. Horace, again, there on the stop. But it didn't matter if it came from the interior line or the perimeter or even the slot defenders. This Pony defensive stop unit was all over the place, holding this vaunted rushing attack to 67 yards rushing. Baylor can't sustain that and have success at home. This is one of those anomalies, but let me tell you something. This SMU defense and offense is feeding off of one another right now. And we have another makings of an upset on our hands, Timmy.
An incredible finish in our first game and detailed beautifully by our guys back in the studio. And Mike Pereira, the most valuable player, explaining it away for us at halftime. Here's Jamichael Hasty bringing it up off the kickoff beyond the 15 to about the 20-yard line. And Bruce Feldman talked with both coaches coming out of the locker room.
Yeah, Timmy, I just spoke to Jim Grove. I said, what was the message there at halftime? He goes, we just had way too many missed assignments. Guys just have to focus on doing their job. As far as on the other side, Chad Morris said, you know, we are killing ourselves with all the mistakes and the turnovers. We got to play smarter.
Understandably so, but boy, in terms of the psychology of the game, Spencer, I'd say Chad Morris has the advantage.
There's no question. This was a win for the first half for them to come on the road and to play as close as they have for a team that is so explosive offensively once they're on point. They're showing aggression are the Ponies again in the second half with these schemes where defenders are coming from the secondary, defying you to run effectively, or even more so, Tim, to try your passing attack against them. They've got one-on-one coverage. They're committed on the outside, and they're daring you to run the football.
Linwood picked up 4. It's second down at 6. He'll bounce it outside this time, trying to get to the edge. Malines ushers him out of bounds. The strong safety. Think about this. Baylor only 2.8 yards per play in the first half. It is rare that you'd make that comment. And the perimeter, Malines, one of them, the strong safety. Horace Richardson, the corner. The linebacking play has been outstanding.
Just look how aggressive they are. And then you pay it off when you play outstanding tight coverage like that. That's how you've got confidence coming in. You complete that, but that's a 3-yard catch, 4-yard catch minimum. You can afford to play that type of defense, aggressive.
Chris Platt made the catch, did get the first down by a couple of yards. That pass incomplete. It appeared that Katie Cannon slipped, and I noticed that in the first half. A lot of slips in that first half of play. Maybe it's anxiety, who knows? Understanding that maybe someone's right on top of you, but we have seen some slips on the turf in this afternoon's game. Second down and 10. Linwood remains in the backfield. We haven't seen the tight end utilized today quite as much. Furbacher is in there now. Linwood bounces it outside. Marker's down. He is up 2 and around midfield. And into SMU territory, but we'll have to check the flag. It should come back. It's a 19-yard gain. Looks like we've got a hold.
Holding by number 54 of the offense. A 10-yard penalty and replay second down.
Well, Kyron Mitchell, number 11, playing that star position on the back end of his defense. Tries to come up here, and you're going to see him lose his footing after this play is put in motion. He tries to make the play, but then the interior line here is where the holding is taking place on the outside. You can see Kyron Mitchell loses his footing. Number 11 allowed the big yardage gain.
Dom D'Souza, 64, was guilty of holding. So it's second down and 20. Terrence Williams now into the game for Linwood. Play fake. And that's a pass you got to catch. Chris Platt dropped that one. You could argue it might have been a little low. Seth Russell dealing with it as best he can. Think about this. Baylor led the nation in scoring for 3 straight years. Only BYU has accomplished that from 79 to 81. Those were the Jim McMahon years. And then Steve Young from 80 to 83 were the BYU quarterbacks during that period. Pressure off the edge and a sack. And flags come down as well as Justin Lawler, number 99, junior from Pottsboro, Texas, came in there to get the sack. We'll check the flag.
Lawler had
a personal foul, hands to the face by number 98 of the defense. It's a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
What a huge break for Baylor. Dion Green, the tackle, was caught. Senior from Windermere, Florida.
Well, Lawler had a team-high 8 tackles, but you can see, again, everybody standing up here. You can see number 99 is on the edge providing the pressure. And that's where Lawler came in.
Yeah, the call on 98, I didn't see it in the face mask. I saw it high to the shoulder pad, but not to the face mask. Hawthorne has the first down. Lynx gets it to the 49-yard line. 11-yard gain and a first down.
I think the bigger concern here, Tim, is the lack of quarterback excellence there with Seth Russell. Here's a guy that was in the Heisman mix prior to his neck injury. He's been off the mark. His receivers have not helped him efficiently enough and consistently enough. And alternately, SMU has been making open field tackles like that all day. It's just outstanding job.
Anthony Roan made the stop of Jamichael Hasty. There are those numbers that we were discussing. It's hard to believe that this team could be snuffed out quite the way they had been. Yeah, they don't have the depth, but the frontline guys, skill positions are all back. Blake Lynch gets it to the 42.
So now they're trying to hit the bubbles on the wide side of the field, and SMU will have to adjust to that. They'll bring him up and play man straight, but they'll bring the inside slot guy up.
Your pardon, it's the 38-yard line of SMU where they scrimmage. And you see a nice pirouette of sorts. Kyron Mitchell makes the stop of Seth Russell, who uses his legs for 7, and it's second down and 3.
Seth is quite athletic. He's been clocked at 4.49 in the 40. Still claims he's got a 41-inch vertical jump. They don't want him running the football.
No, they don't.
Great pressure.
Looping it to an open receiver. It's Lynch. It's touchdown.
Well, it's Kevin Johnson on the back end. A straight man coverage again. The little nod and go right in the slot. Excellent job. Caught Kevin looking inside, and he was not perhaps looking for a run play. A little nod got him. That's pitch and catch. That's like stealing.
Yeah, Kevin Johnson bit the free safety. Youngster from Wascom, Texas, was taken to school there as Blake Lynch made the play. Young man, another redshirt freshman from Gilmer, Texas. They play in that league with Pine Tree of Longview. Got to know your Texas high school football. That's right. Seth Russell finally gets a touchdown catch. You see sports quite the way Colin Coward and Jason Whitlock do. The brains to know and the guts to say. Catch Colin and Jason as they team up for FS1's daily sports talk show, Speak for Yourself. Weekdays at 5 Eastern on FS1. Well, Blake Lynch gets it into the end zone to atone for the turnover going in that turned into a touchback earlier, culminating a 79-yard drive. And they got some help on the hands to the face mask by Deion Green to keep that drive alive and get the first touchdown of the game, and they lead by 7. Kevin Thomas is back deep.
But Tim, I'm not so sure how excited you can be about it, because again, that touchdown comes in part as a result of a mistake by Kevin Johnson getting nosy looking in on coverage.
Kevin Thomas pushed back at the 13-yard line. Absolutely hammered by Lenoy Jones, a reserve linebacker.
Jones, number 38, comes here. Again, everybody plays with integrity on special team. It's about staying in your lane, not following color, leaving no voids, no place for the return man to go.
Jordan Williams aiding Jones. 32 and 38, one low, one high. Either way, he went way back, absorbing that punishment. Braden West in the backfield on 1st and 10. This looks like an inspired Bears team here in the second half. KJ Smith, 56. The first to get there, Davion Hall there to clean up.
KJ from his defensive end position there did an excellent job of denying. You can see him working inside in that trash, and he discards the offensive guard and moves him out of the way. He makes a great play at the point of attack. Levels in on the beat as well.
No Xavier Jones. Matt Davis out with the knee injury. Braden West gets it out past the 20. Shy of the 21-yard line, and a 3rd down. We'll call it a long 5 coming up.
Hicks trying to get his guys lined up in more of a conventional solo or tiger formation. Trips to the wide side of the field. Solo up top, one back.
That's a long 4, we'll say that. West remains the setback out of the shotgun. Hicks over the middle on the cross. It's Prochet. It's a first down at the 30-yard line. Patrick Levels there to make the stop. Gain of 9, and SMU stays alive, going tempo here.
Prochet put Vaughns in his hip pocket on that one.
West bounces off the first tackler. Gets ahead to the 38-yard line. Avion Edwards, number 20, made the stop. Season ago, Avion had 61 tackles, 39 solo. Had 4 tackles last week and a half's worth of play. There's West. Oh, he's spinning beyond the 45. And another first down. SMU appears to be getting into some rhythm here.
It really is, and I think the more important narrative that's emerging here is SMU is staying ahead of the chains. Another first down to them as Baylor struggling to get their guys on the field. Fisher did him a favor there.
Tamon Freeman checks in. Back shoulder throw incomplete. Intended for Thomas.
I've seen Kevin make that catch before. Again, that was a nice back shoulder toss. Seth put it on a rope. Just couldn't handle. It was a little bit too high.
Ben Hicks is, you look at his numbers last week. He threw an 88-yarder to Sutton late in the first quarter. That was before the injury to Davis, and that was the 5th longest touchdown pass in SMU history. 2nd down and 10 here. 5 minutes gone by in the 3rd quarter. Freeman. Levels again, the first to get to him. Second effort gets him even more yardage. 2 yards shy of a first down.
Tim, here is another 3rd down and short. You're created what you call a run-pass conflict, where you can run the ball or pass it. It makes it tough for Phil Bennett, the defensive coordinator, to get the package that he wants in the game because of the down and distance conflict.
Xavier Castile is the wide receiver up to the top of your screen. Cortland Sutton, the go-to guy, down at the bottom. 3rd down and 3, we'll call it. Looking for Sutton. Wayward pass that time, thrown behind the receiver. Tion Wright was there covering, and it's 4th down.
It's unfortunate because Hicks actually had an opportunity out of what looked like a conventional run formation, and Chad knew it was there. He just couldn't complete that throw.
Boy, Hicks was ready to go again, wasn't he?
He
He was trying to get Chad Morris to play along with him, but he wants to play field position here. Tony Nicholson will drop back in safety for the Bears, awaiting the punt from Sackville.
I think this is a vote of confidence into this defense as well.
Using that pre-kick Australian side approach, and gets it out of bounds at around the 16-17 yard line. That's where Baylor will take over first down. 32 yards on the boot. The Dr. Pepper was created here in Waco in 1885. Well, today you can learn all about the colorful history of the delicious beverage at the Dr. Pepper Museum, located right here in town. At the end of your visit, the best part, of freshly made Dr. Pepper, or perhaps you'd like a Dr. Pepper ice cream float. How about that?
Nice.
Make it just like it was in the old-fashioned soda counters of yesteryear. Be a pepper, you a pepper, I can be a pepper too. Right?
Great jingle, man. One of the best ever. Did they have one of those places in Shreveport?
No, they don't. No.
A false start by number 77 of the offense. The 5-yard penalty, and it's still first down.
Those kinds of mistakes have really been a problem for Baylor, and you heard Bruce Feldman talking at halftime about what Jim Grobe said to him. We just made way too many mistakes. That's yet another example. Here in the second half, more of the same. 9 penalties, 71 yards now. Linwood gets some of that yardage back. Shock held to 41 yards on 13 carries in the first half.
Well, we thought it was going to be a foregone conclusion that he would close in on that 107 that he needs to get Walter Abercrombie's all-time mark here for the program. Pick.
Oh, yeah. Malines has got it. Darian Malines playing center field, and Russell didn't see him. Down the sidelines he goes. SMU will be on the doorstep. Well, that's the third turnover of the day and the second interception of Seth Russell.
Well, this is just a poor decision. You had a safety over the top that's lurking, helping the corner out in the coverage. The ball was underthrown. It was poorly overthrown, again, to the wide side of the field. Seth's got a big enough arm to put it outside the reach of the defender. The single high safety, trolling back there with no responsibility, stole this one from the former Heisman Trophy candidate of a year ago. Not having a great day with Seth Russell.
Christian Davis, by the way, was the corner that really had good coverage, and he did more to keep Malines from getting to the end zone than anyone, just based on where he was. Malines had to sort of sidestep him after he came away with the pick.
Well, the issue is why didn't Seth see him standing there?
Yeah.
I mean, the single high safety is who you look to first to determine if you're going to the out. And that was just a poor read and a worse throw.
You know, to some extent, I wonder because, and again, not to take anything away from the opposition, but much has been said through the years about the scheduled non-conference that Baylor plays. Northwestern State's a fine university at the FCS level, not far from my hometown. Yeah, well, no question was that going to be a confirmed play, but, you know, Russell only played a half. I mean, they had the shoulder pads off. And now they're in a game against a team that clearly has a lot more talent in week 2, and I think it's showing up big time.
No question. And again, the excellent thing that Chad has done, he's plugged his team into the tradition, as rocky as it has been for SMU over the years. In our time talking to him yesterday, he was clearly plugged into the history. The Eric Dickerson, Craig James, the Lance McElhaney's, and Michael Carter, all the great players who played here before. You can see the long storied history. 17 straight non-conference win. That was a trend for Baylor, but SMU is on the doorstep of a major upset right now.
Kamon Freeman got ahead for 2, so it's second down and 8. Looking for the corner. Incomplete. Pass was intended for Xavier Castile. Tion Wright was there with him.
I think they're going to get Baylor for an offsides.
Offside, number 21 of the defense. The 5-yard penalty and replay second down.
Wow.
From time to time, you'll see the nickelbacker, Levels or Taylor Young. It seems they're living in the opposition's backfield. They'll guess from time to time. They take chances, take risks. That time Levels was caught.
Well, make no mistake about it. It may be just the second game of the year, but this is a big game as it's unfolding in front of our audience's eyes. And big games tend to be lost not one. It's usually mistakes like that that gives a high-octane offense, working with the second quarterback, an opportunity to steal one.
2nd and 3. There's Freeman. Inside the 5, he's got a first down. Pushed back from the 3-yard line. I think the net forward progress stopped there. Davion Hall and Patrick Levels collaborate.
Boy, Freeman gets his pad level down a little bit. I think he gets into that end zone.
A mark at the 4. Freeman again, this time stopped behind the line of scrimmage at the 6-yard line. You don't have that big bruising back in this offense so often, and that it bogs down. A lot of times offenses like Chad's, and for that matter, like Kendall Bryles's, they operate better further away from the goal line than they do inside the 10.
Unless they go tight formation, which is what they have here, you have a great opportunity for a rub route here, particularly with the motion man coming to the side. Nice job here. Nice.
Oh, he intercepted again inside the end zone. Taken away by Hall. Davion Hall. Flag is down back at the 7-yard line. 62-yard return, and as you mentioned, it
An
was
illegal shift on the offense. There were 2 players moving and did not reset. That penalty is declined. First down.
It was right there, but Hicks just threw it to the wrong spot.
Well, Cortland Sutton had managed to take advantage of that cluster formation, and he's sitting in the back of the end zone.
Yep.
Undefended.
Needed more room, more air underneath that ball.
Just sit it right in front of him, lob it up there, and it's a score.
Well, SMU has had 4 red zone trips inside the 12. Only 6 points to show for it.
Here's the switch route. You can see Sutton making his way back in the end zone. The ball's up high enough, about a half a foot, 6 inches or more. SMU's in control of this thing.
Yeah, well,
for the time being.
As it turns out, they would have been penalized either way. It would not have been a touchdown, but he needed more air under that one. The youngster made another mistake. Linwood gathers himself and gets it down to the 33-yard line.
Tim, I think it's more about just coaching, because at least you can coach with that. You go back to the line of scrimmage and say, look, guys, we just kicked ourselves right there on that last play. It's not an issue of what they're doing to us, it's what we're doing to ourselves.
And we've got an injured Shock Linwood. And see how quiet this stadium got when they saw him getting some assistance to the sidelines. Already today, for those of you that may have just joined us, Ryan Reed, their top cornerback, the senior from Dallas, Texas, got here by way of Sherman. His story is an incredible one. He was lost on the opening series defensively for Baylor. And we've got markers down pre-snap again. Looks like procedure. False start coming.
A false start by number 15 of the offense. The 5-yard penalty, and it's still 2nd down.
More frustration for Kendall Bryles. Let's go down to Bruce Feldman.
Yeah, Timmy, you mentioned Ryan Reed. He is done for the day. High ankle sprain. He's out here on crutches. One other injury of note. Who Strickland, starting wide receiver. He is done for the day. He's got a shoulder injury.
Oh, boy. And that's the issue for Baylor as the season moves forward. Only 70 scholarship players on this team. Crossing pattern was right there. Likely would have been 6, but it was thrown behind Chris Platt. And you're right, he's just not sharp, Russell, today.
Well, Seth has just not been sharp since the beginning of this game. And again, part of that is due to some of the pressure he had early on, but no pressure on that particular play and about half a dozen others. He just is not throwing accurately today.
Terrence Williams comes back into the game. Russell now 19 of 37 for 185. The interception to go along with the touchdown pass to open this half. Terrence Williams. He stopped at the 25, mark it at the 24-yard line. First down.
Nice job of patient running by Terrence Williams there. It's all 6'1", 220 pounds of him. It takes him a while to get going, but once he gets vertical, he's tough.
Terrence Williams burrows inside the 20 before being pushed back.
He had 11 carries for 72 yards and a couple of touchdowns last week. And again, unpacking his game, he's a rangy guy, loping kind of a runner. But once again, he gets vertical. He can be a challenge to bring down.
2nd down and 5. Pump fake from Russell. He's resourceful back there. Look at that athleticism.
The speed.
Look at him go. Hello, how do you do?
The ability to extend plays and create. You got zone drops here. He avoids and steps up with the kind of a run pass option opportunity. Lures in the defender that comes up, and this is just all athleticism and speed into the end zone by Russell.
He made it look easy, didn't he?
He really did.
He deeped the defender by utilizing the left arm to say, I'm ready to move a receiver. And the defender bit. Callahan adds the extra point. After playing return to sender with turnovers, the freshman quarterback of SMU yields to the senior. And this guy knows what to do with it. If I can't throw it well, I know I can run it well. FS1 college football is presented by Geico. Baylor with 14 unanswered points here in the third quarter. It hasn't been a work of art by any stretch, but at this stage Seth Russell will take it, and that was a magnificent run. As I said, he has that ability. He's so quick, so fast, and yet because he's so long and athletic with those gaits of his, Spencer, you don't know that he's that much faster than everybody else, but he is.
Yeah, we were trying to look for a comparison, and for those long-suffering fans out there that remember Matt Jones, former quarterback, South Carolina, he had some of that similar style about him and that speed. Deceptive.
I believe he meant Arkansas.
Arkansas, I'm sorry, yeah.
Kevin Johnson gets it out to about the 18-yard line. I think they may mark it at the 20. Let's get more on Seth Russell from Bruce Feldman.
Yeah, Timmy, we've spotlighted a bunch of freak athletes at Baylor over the years, and we just saw what Seth Russell could do. Earlier this summer, the 6'3", 220-pound Russell returned home to work out with his personal trainer, where he tested in the 40 at 4.39, and his vertical jump was 40 inches. Pretty stunning numbers for a guy coming off neck surgery.
Indeed. Bruce Feldman's Freak of the Week, and we mean that in the most complimentary of ways. Braden West is in the backfield. Hicks, the freshman at quarterback, hands to him. He gets it to the 21 for a pickup of 2. Avion Edwards making the stop. Second down and 8 coming up. You know, he went on to play, as I recall, John, he went on to play tight end for the Jacksonville Jaguars, as I recall.
Very gifted guy. Troubled off the field, but great ability.
On second and 8, Hicks' pass is caught. James Prochet making the reception for another first down. SMU has had those opportunities, so many of them in the red zone, and yet only 6 points to show for it. 4 times they've been in the scoring zone, and only 6 to show for it. There it is. He played it. Orion Stewart, touchdown.
Well, the deep out or the shallow out is a grown man's throw. It's an NFL caliber throw when you make it. When you do it, you better make sure it's on a rope. And you better sure you don't telegraph it. Orion peeks in, squats on it, and heads the opposite direction for a score to try to open this thing up wide.
So the freshman from Midway High School throws it to a senior from Midway High School. Orion Stewart takes it to the house. The senior, number 28. And this is beginning to look like one of those that the extra point is no good. Was hooked by Callahan. This is beginning to look like one of those games where the score does not necessarily reflect the level of competition. The senior with savvy read the eyes of the freshman quarterback and made him pay. Take it anytime you can. Out pattern for a pick 6. You could see after the pick was thrown, Matt Davis, the veteran quarterback, number 4 there, is unable to play today because of that knee injury last week. The first to console Ben Hicks. It's got to be tough on the youngster. This is a homecoming for him. He last played on this field during the playoffs for Midway scored 76 points, and Pooh Strickland, who's not playing, out injured for Baylor, was on the receiving end of many of those kicks. This is going to be a touchback. West was unable to gather it in the end zone. And let's get back to Los Angeles. Mike Hill with a game break.
All right, guys, Washington enjoying its highest ranking in 15 years, hosting Idaho. And Jake Browning finds Dante Pettis. 7 yards, gets them 6 right here. And the 8th-ranked Huskies up 14-0. They just scored again. It's 20-0 right now in this second.
Tell you, Chris Peterson has been there long enough for the impact to be felt. And that is a team that a lot of people have had as posh preseason picks, and I'm one of them. I'm sold on the Huskies this year.
I still like Washington State as well. I like the Huskies, and again, no matter where Chris Peterson at Boise State all those years built that program from the top up. He's done this in breakneck fashion. It's been outstanding to watch him build that program back up.
K'Mon Freeman gets it out near the 30. By the way, those are throwing dirt on Washington State for losing to Eastern Washington. Let me just say, that's happened before.
Yep.
And Eastern Washington has done that to a lot of other schools, too. Pressure again. Hicks had to unload it as Levels was coming through quickly to provide it. Mitchell Kaufman was the intended receiver, and it falls incomplete, 3rd and 6.
They talked about how important it is to keep Hicks' head up and his dauber up. You know, that game that you referenced, that year, he only threw 6 interceptions, 28 TDs, and over 3,500 yards as a starter in the high school level. And again, he's got 3 interceptions today, so it's really about building this kid up.
It was the first high school game ever played inside McLean Stadium during the playoffs of 2014. Steps up out of the pressure, tries to get it done with his legs, and does. A first down out to the 36. They'll find out a lot about this kid now after the adversity that's come his way. Looks like he's limping a little as he gets up. Avion Edwards made the tackle.
And we'll see how he responds to it. But again, these kinds of situations really exposes what a young quarterback is made of. And everybody's watching his body language. You know, he's young, but he has to understand that leadership is about influence, nothing more, nothing less. It has a lot to do with what you're doing right now, how you carry yourself after a tough series.
And we've got an injured Baylor Bear, too. The trainers are over him and have obstructed our view of his jersey, so we'll let you know as soon as we are able to locate the numerals. Maybe Raekwon Davis as we do the math up here. My trusted spotter, Brett Bender, doing the best that he can. Yep, it is Raekwon. Holding the midsection. Yeah, this is a team, as I mentioned, only 70 scholarship players. Lost a lot of its depth of talent in the aftermath of the controversial summer. You see, actually, his own guy got him.
Yeah, he put his right side of his body, his shoulder is what he was going for.
Avion Edwards actually hit him.
Yeah, that's why Hicks was grimacing as well. They collided with one another. Right in the ribs. Nice shot.
Freeman back in the game in the backfield. Nice. Little out pattern to Castillo. Just shy of the 40. Call it the 39-yard line.
He's a burner once he gets the ball in his hand. He's a 4-4-3 guy, but again, Baylor rallying to stop.
2nd down and 6.
Showing pressure here off the slot.
A little curl pattern, shy of the first down by a yard. Mitchell Kaufman, the tight end, being utilized. You know, we were told it would see some Darryl Colbert, the youngster that he beat out, a dual threat kind of guy, runs a lot of zone read. We have not seen him today. 3rd down and a yard to go for SMU. Now down by 20. They really need to make something happen on this series. Freeman, good job of keeping his balance. He was stumbling at the line of scrimmage. Used his left arm to balance himself and get the first down.
If Freeman could have kept his balance, there was a little wiggle room, more than a little wiggle room to work and get some extra yardage out of that.
Yeah, they are going with a little trickeration. And it's West that comes out of there with it. And Baylor is confused. Well, Ryan Stewart knocks him out of bounds, but a little Bowden-Ruski coming from Chad Morris.
Well, you can see the ball is seated here. The ball's going to come out this direction.
Yeah.
And West is just going to head to the sidelines and just navigate behind that offensive line, kind of slow reading it there.
Baylor on their heels, and Phil Bennett, knowing that, gets a timeout. Back inside the red zone where they have not been productive. 4 trips in there, only 6 points to show for it. There you see the graphic regarding the stat that I mentioned going to break. By the way, West, after that carry of 32 yards, has 80 on the day. K'Mon Freeman is back into the game. Out of the shotgun on first down. Touchdown, Cortland Sutton. And he took some heat on that one, did Ben Hicks.
Yeah, Hicks stood in the pocket really nice and delivered one despite taking a helmet to the chops there, man. A lot of pressure here coming up. But you can see Sutton here in the inside slot position, gives a nice little nod and turns the safety on his heels, and he's spinning in the backside. Sutton, despite the pressure, is able to deliver this ball, is Hicks, to Sutton, who's waiting on it. Does a great job with the nod outside to make the safety bite to finish off the play.
Teachable moment for Chad Morris.
Absolutely.
And the freshman comes through the adversity to make the play, and he gets his playmaker, Cortland Sutton, the ball. 5 receptions, 97 yards for the all-purpose talent that is Cortland Sutton. He's a quality hooper and bowler. Trust me. Some happiness at long last along the SMU sidelines. Plenty of time remaining. Couple of turnovers by Hicks, 1 a pick 6, 2 pass interceptions in the end zone that have denied them opportunities to score. But it doesn't appear that the what might have been has become the theme over there. They are fighting through it right now.
And this game is much closer, but for Kevin Johnson's mistake that he made on the 1 touchdown that Baylor had headed into their end zone. And listen, this game is a lot closer. It's more function of what SMU has done to themselves than it is what Baylor has done.
Michael Hasty from the goal line, a yard deep. Up to the 22. And for more on Cortland Sutton, here's Bruce Feldman.
Yeah, Tim, the interesting story. He was recruited by the old SMU staff as a safety before they moved him to receiver. Chad Morris, when he was at Clemson, he saw Sammy Watkins, and they had a sophomore slump. And these guys challenged Sutton to work hard to avoid that. And they say he really has. They say he has great work ethic. The other thing is, you know, all those receivers Clemson had, Chad told me he is very similar to DeAndre Hopkins with great body control and ball skills, but he's even bigger than the NFL star. This kid's quite a building block for this SMU team.
Yeah, he is. Preseason first team all-conference and Biletnikoff watch list standout. You're going to hear a lot more from this young man as the season prolongs. Chuck Linwood. Look at him make a little something happen when there's nothing there. He bounced outside after a couple of hop skips. That reminded me a little of Spencer Tillman back in the day.
Those little legs, man, I'm telling you, he's Sutton and immediate, and you never know. We talked about how he alternates between calm and explosive power. That was an example of it.
Yeah.
And to finish your thought, Timmy, about Sutton a minute ago, and that's high praise for Bruce talking about, and it's significant praise because DeAndre Hopkins is an elite receiver, and Sutton has drawn comparisons to him. That's outstanding.
Kyron Mitchell meets Terrence Williams at the point of attack.
And I've watched his body. I've watched the way he functions and operates. He clearly, from a raw tool standpoint, does have some of the similar techniques and running style and the way that he gets free versus man coverage that DeAndre Hopkins does. DeAndre is not the fastest guy in the world, but again, because he's so technically sound, we saw Sutton's nod route on the score just a moment ago. He can really do a lot with less there.
Key defensive play here for SMU. 3rd and 8. Pressure on Russell. Airs it out.
Look for it.
There it is. Tipped into the air and a near pick for Darian Malines. Blake Lynch, the intended receiver. I don't know. Malines did not know where the ball was as it went up into the air. We have some shade overcoming about half of the stadium right now. So out of the sunlight and into the shade. That may have had something to do with it.
Malign should have been able to identify that ball because the shade is about half of the field is covered with sunlight, the other half covered with shade.
It's right there.
He just got beaten on that play, and again, as a result of that, he was probably more scared than anything else. And when you're doing in that situation, you have to identify the ball quickly so you can cover your mistake.
They do get the ball back, though. A big stop for the Mustangs defense. Crochet will let that one bound. Oh, he's got to take it on the bounce. Wow, that was scary. They may talk about that in the film room on Sunday, but they hold on to the ball. 58-yard boot. Every weekday morning, Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp go head-to-head on the day's hottest sports topics. Undisputed with Skip and Shannon. Weekdays at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 6:30 Pacific, only on FS1.
Not very much high drama going on that program, is there?
Well, you know, people don't know this, right? Here's a historical nugget. The SMU death penalty story, in a lot of ways, helped make the career of Skip Bayless.
Oh yeah, no question about it.
As a writer in the Metroplex area back then. Little dump pass that is incomplete. An ad-lib job really by Hicks. He lost his balance there. Second down and 10.
Yep, Skip Bayless, and there's a couple of local broadcasters as well as we look at the end of this play. Hicks throws it, little chop, falls down.
You had the Dallas Morning News and the Herald in those days, and so there was a newspaper battle. Plus Dale Hansen.
Dale Hansen, yeah, absolutely.
The outstanding longtime Cowboys commentator on radio, was very much a part of that story 30 years ago. Back shoulder throw, incomplete, intended for Cortland Sutton. Jamison Houston was there covering.
Well, Hicks is taking a beating right now, and again, they know that he's trying to get the ball out quick, but he took another shot there on that last play, Tim, and it's mounting up. Let's see how he responds to it.
3rd and 10.
And so what a young quarterback doesn't appreciate is the fact that Phil Benton is looking at his body language, and he's saying, look, let's dial it up again. We're affecting the quarterback. There's more than one way just to affect it with interception. Pressure can be as effective as anything else. Close, tight splits now on the outside changes things a little bit so they can get it out quicker.
Pressure again. There it is. Had he had enough time, he would have found an open Shelby Walker. He just got so much heat.
Yeah, but again, Phil Benton is dialing it up big time. He sees it, and he's salivating, panting like a lizard on a hot rock. You see the outside blitz, inside pressure coming as well. Hicks has been hit early and often in this one.
Greg Roberts has been free a lot of times. He's been shooting the gap from that linebacker spot most of the afternoon. Tony Nicholson will await the punt of Jamie Sackville. End over end punt this time. Walker's down. Nicholson will take it the distance, but flags are down. We've got 2 of them down, and a Mustang also down at the 49-yard line. It was a 41-yard boot. The return 63. It would appear it's coming back.
There's a lot of stuff happening on this play, and while they sort it out, there's going to be special teams conversation about guys maintaining their lane integrity with a directional kick to the left side. You got to play a lot better, more integrity on coverage units.
That's Michael Badejo, number 7, that's down on the 50.
An illegal low block by the return team, number 46. That penalty is declined. An illegal block in the back on the return team. That penalty is accepted. It'll be a 10-yard penalty and first down.
It's Ross Matasic.
Yep.
A long snapper, actually, in most cases, gets called for that one. Let's see if it's the first assisted block that he gets to set up right in the back.
Oh yeah,
there.
that's easy call.
Well, he actually pulled off of him, but
yeah, but you can't do that. You gotta stay away. We had that conversation with Mike Pereira off the video that he sent us. I mean, if you're behind the guy, do not touch. Do not touch. He did, and he got tagged.
Well, I always think there's discretion. I mean, I know you touch a guy, that's one thing, but if there's intent and obviously what you do impedes the outcome of the play, I get why you call that. I don't know why you call that particular play.
Well, there were two of them, and the first one was the one that they decided to execute. Yes, and enforce. The concern now is for the injured pony.
Let's see if Badejo, boom, that little pop right there is a high shot to the head, too, and there's another one. Wow.
And neither were needed. They just weren't.
Nope.
Did not affect the play.
Yeah.
You see those early in the season in college football quite often. Not as much time. 20-hour limit being what it is today. They just cannot deal with the special teams time as much as they like. Although Jim Grobe would tell you that from a position coaching standpoint, he's spending a lot more time in the special teams area. He's an old defensive-minded coach, and that's one of the things that he felt that he could assist this staff with. All 9 of the guys left from Art Briles' staff remaining for this season.
We'll see how they enforce this, because, again, that was a high enough blow to me to warrant a targeting call. But I saw no indication.
No. Remember, then this season, by the way, the replay official can call down themselves and decide to enforce it. You don't need the call to be made on the field any longer. That's one of the changes that's been made.
I'm surprised that they haven't done that on this play, Tim.
It's been a long day as we're happy to see Badejo up and getting some assistance to the sidelines. It's been a long day for Shock Linwood. Yards have been hard to come by. But the 5'9" senior from Linden, Texas is now 46 yards away from Walter Abercrombie's mark. He's now an administrative member of the Baylor staff. Saw his office yesterday en route to Jim Grobe's for our conversation.
Former #1 draft pick, 12th player selected that year. Great running back.
Looking long. Incomplete. Platt, who has been targeted many times today by Seth Russell, not able to get underneath that one. 2nd and 10 coming up.
Well, double coverage here. Again, the safety is going to come over late to assist, but Platt couldn't get a mid underneath that ball to bring it in. Again, the safety out of the frame, so it's essentially man coverage on that play. Platt just couldn't bring it in.
2nd and 10. Ball batted into the air. That's a good defensive move. Michael Scott, number 36, the redshirt freshman from Irving, Texas, got his big mid up there.
One way you can do it is affect the quarterback really quick and get your hands. If you find the balls coming out quickly and you're not going to get to the quarterback, get your hands up in the air. J.J. Watt makes a living out of that.
3rd down and 10. He did not run the distance. That will not be enough for the 1st down, although they could go for it on 4th down. They have in the past. K.D. Cannon did not get the yardage necessary, but they will go for it on 4th and 1 as we come towards the end of the quarter. Let's see if they get the play off. They did. And they managed the 1st down. It's Terrence Williams. I think SMU relaxed a little bit there.
They sure did.
And paid a price. We've come to the end of the 3rd quarter. The Bears get a pick 6 and a touchdown pass of their own from Seth Russell. Working out the kinks, Russell takes one in himself. And they lead by a baker's dozen at home.
Back to lovely McLean Stadium here in Waco, Texas, with the Baylor Bears leading 26-13. And congratulations are in order to my buddy Timmy Brando, the Brando Sullivan family, who welcomed Wilma Scarlett Sullivan to this world this week. Tara and John, the proud parents.
See the touchdown? She was giving the touchdown signal there.
She was, man. Congratulations to you guys.
Yeah, more
Grandpa,
pink. More pink in
you
my
got
house.
The pink on too,
Yeah,
brother.
yeah,
it matches your house.
Archie Manning told me Grandpapa was underrated. He's right. I mean, it is as good as it gets. Thank you,
Terry's happy about that, isn't
Yes, she is. She's at home. She went home today from the hospital and watching her first college football game with the family at the Chateau.
Congratulations, Terry, Tara, and the whole family.
Seth Russell gets it out for 9 yards. Yeah, our oldest daughter, Tiffany, is really happy to be an aunt and helping out her younger sister. So it's a wonderful time in our family. Thank you.
You bet.
2nd and 1. Terrence Williams stays alive. Wow. All the way dragging Mustangs with him to the 40-yard line.
Well, he's running with intentionality. Again, we talked about his big frame at 6'1", 220. Again, it takes him a while to get going, but boy, he sure is running with leverage and pad level. This is the type of Baylor attack that we're used to seeing right now.
From the 41. Williams again. Lost the football. Managed to get on top. Denzel Mims got on top of it, number 15. Saved the turnover there.
Well, you can see it's in traffic, and again, versus a three-man front, so there's a lot of windows and holes to run. Williams just got to seat that ball. He goes end over end. The ball comes out. Got to secure it.
Looking long for KD Cannon. Touchdown!
Christian Davis was covering and defending, but KD claimed that ball as his own. And Seth just laid it right in there. Cannon delivers a shot right in the corner. You can see off coverage, bail technique. Cannon runs right by him. Goes up and high points that ball, actually cradles it in. Nevertheless, comes up with the score. Cannon looking at the audience and saying, hey, we got some scoring to do.
Callahan for the extra point. He missed one earlier. 9 catches for 87 yards now for KD Cannon. And the extra point is good. Christian Davis made a bit of an error deciding to play the ball a little too soon. Cannon brings it in. And Seth says, oh, got away with that one. Yes, you did, but it's 6. And the lead is up to 20 for number 23 Baylor. FS1 College Football is presented by Geico, a game that was tied 6 apiece at the break has ballooned to a 20-point lead for Baylor. They've made some key defensive plays with turnovers, and now KD Cannon gets into the end zone for a touchdown. Seth Russell finally getting some traction into his passing game. That drive, 9 plays, 63 yards, and the 32-yarder to Cannon. Kevin Thomas is back deep for the Mustangs. Still plenty of time left in this game. Both teams with explosive offenses, but have been throttled today, and turnovers have played a large role in that. Prochet is tripped up at the 8-yard line, so outstanding special teams play there by Chris Miller, reserve safety number 16.
Really, Chris came down with integrity in his line and did a great job. The missed opportunities are plenty. Again, in the red area, ball comes up short and is picked and plucked away. And then ball security, or lack thereof it. The turnover here gives Baylor another opportunity. And again, near the red zone, Sutton sitting in the back there. You put a little air underneath it, despite the penalty on the play, you can execute. And then the dagger right there, put Hicks' head down, and Baylor in the end zone.
Well, Davion Hall had that pick. There's another turnover. Baylor's got it again on the deck, and it appears that the Bears got it. But nope, it appears that upon further review, it's Jerry Sena, who got on top of it. So a premature move on the part of some of the Bears and the announcer. That was a big get by Sena, because it would have been curtains if they turned it over here inside their 15-yard line.
This is trouble too, because you got 3-on-1 downstairs, and unless they go up top to exploit this matchup, they don't have a shot with this play.
2nd and 4. Rolling. Hicks' pass, a comebacker to Cortland Sutton. Yeah, that's well taught. Receiver knows his quarterback is in trouble. Pretty good idea, though, don't you think, to roll him out?
Well, it was the only way up top. That was the only matchup that you were going to be able to exploit because of the way the coverage was rolled to the opposite side. Despite it was the wide side of the field, Sutton was the only one you trust, game plan-wise, to win that individual battle. 6
catches, 111 yards for Sutton.
Nice blitz.
Back shoulder throw again, but this one thrown behind James Prochet, up around midfield. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Well, pressure was late coming that time on Hicks, and he's seen and felt a lot of it this afternoon. He's navigated and still standing, but boy, he's been wounded along the way.
K'Von Freeman back into the backfield. is in the game. Freeman ahead to the 31-yard line. Keep an eye on where 16 is. He was out of the game, just back in. And he'll line up at the top of your screen on this third down play coming up. Tight coverage. You would assume Sutton would be the target.
They better get rid of this quick. You got a lot of bodies around the line.
He's looking for him. There he is, down the sidelines. All the way, that was going to be his. Little streak right down the sidelines. Kedrick Vaughn's number 27 was with him.
Here's the matchup. Vaughn's on the outside. Again, just shadowing. Nice little chug, and then the relocate the look for the football. It's excellent defense right there.
Yeah, really good coverage. Very frustrating for Hicks. He knew pretty much all week long, although they were hoping that Matt Davis, the story on him with his knee would be better. He had to know that this was going to be a homecoming of sorts for him, playing in his hometown. A lot of pressure for a youngster in that situation. There have been flashes of brilliance for the young man. A four-star recruit out of Waco Midway. 34-yard boot. We'll be back. The Fixer Upper on HGTV, don't you?
Absolutely.
You and your girls,
yes,
Rita and everyone back in Sugar Land. Well, Magnolia Markets at the Silos, opened by Joanna and Chip Gaines in 2014. You got to try some of their tasty treats. Hang out on the lawn, maybe get some ice cream cones with a friend, a delicious meal. Go by the food trucks like our crew did yesterday and find some items to make your home look good, like our broadcast looks better as a result. You like that? JoJo, and she's the one that does the decorating. He does all the hard labor. It's the kind of the way it works. Very popular show. And they're as big in Waco as you could possibly imagine. Not far from the hotel where we're staying. JaMychal Hasty in the backfield. We've got a false start coming.
Now, with your new status as Grandpa, are you going to be doing any
by number 64 of the offense?
Any
the 5-yard
DY
penalty,
stuff?
and it's still first down.
I'll tell you what, there will be a lot of film watching by the offensive line after today, you think?
Yeah, and the sad thing about it is inherently offense is a creative process, and it takes longer to clean that stuff up.
Yeah. Hasty again. I mean, there's extraordinary talent on this Baylor team. They are leading the game by 20, but they have not been sharp. They have not been sharp at all.
Well, again, you can tell that by the lack of run production today. And oftentimes against opponents, this Baylor team has been able to create nice little lanes for Shock Linwood and company to run in based on getting the hat on head, playing basketball on grass, and just getting shades on people. They can't even get that done today.
Denzel Mims stopped about 2 yards shy of the first down. Jordan Wyatt, who had an interception earlier today, that was one of those moments early in the game where SMU had a chance to get in the end zone, and then they returned to sender with a pass interception of their own. 3rd and 3. Hasty should have the first down. About the length of the football.
Now, he'll have the first down, but it's just those splits that we typically see in this offense have been cut down, and alternately SMU has been filling those gaps with a lot of bodies around the line of scrimmage like they are on this play.
Bubble screen out to Katie Cannon. In a lot of ways, though, when teams like Baylor win ugly, and I suspect that that's going to be the headlines tomorrow, a coach can do a lot with that. And in the case of Jim Grobe, he won't have to do a lot of barking. Both of his coordinators will do that just fine. Hasty negotiates to the 47-yard line of SMU.
Yeah, no question, Tim. You make a great point. It's about the character of the team that will come out in situations like that. And Jim Grobe knows he's got a team that will respond, or at least historically has responded. He's trying to find out what he's got left. This 70 or so that he has on scholarship, this is a remnant now.
Quick curl into the hands of Lynch, who's had a roller coaster day. Fumbled one, caught one for a touchdown. Just shy of the first down by a half yard. Terrence Williams burrows ahead to the 35-yard line before being pushed back. You know, I thought in our conversation with Grobe yesterday, and we visited with both he and Seth Russell and Ryan Reed, when I asked him about the circumstances he faces and coming out of retirement as he did, you know, where do you see yourself after this year? He said very quickly, Tim, I've never been happier, and there is no end game.
Yeah, that was an interesting comment. And as they look to the side to get the next play, he also followed that up saying, I will go as far as the kids will take me.
Yeah.
I think that was telling, too.
Yeah, and Ryan Reed said, we love the coach. We just told him enjoy the ride. Little stretch play for Terrence Williams. Dumped at about the line of scrimmage. Some incidental contact at the conclusion of the play. I think fans wanted a yellow hanky. They didn't get it. Kevin Johnson falling on top of him. 2nd down and 11 coming up.
There is a kind of bet the horse, not the cart kind of attitude and spirit here. You saw it at the quarterback position with Russell as well yesterday, quite confident in himself. And we saw it in a tremendous conversation we had yesterday with a leader in cornerback on this ball club.
Ryan Reed.
Yep.
There's the quick slant to Lynch. Down to the 24-yard line.
Well, there's 40 years of experience that you see in Jim Grove, and he's brought that to bear in this very difficult leadership challenge right now, Tim. The thing I like about him, again, he's serving people now. He talked about the assistant coaches. That's one of the reasons why he took this job. They don't make as much money as head coaches, and again, nobody is poor-mouthed you with respect to that, but he knows that there's no guarantees for them. Part of the reason he came back after kind of unpacking it with his wife was to say, hey, look, we have a chance to serve here.
Yep. The issues here are, will there be more dominoes falling between now and the conclusion of the year? Lynch on the post pattern, incomplete. 3rd and 7. Did you see the Art Briles interview today?
I did see
Your
it.
thoughts on it?
Well, Timmy, my thoughts were this. We live in a world of images and impressions. You hear me say that a lot. And people don't pull away the veneer to find out what's really substantive there. I don't think most are in a position to credibly do that. So we left with what's on the surface. And while he did show contrition, I think it's problematic because there are some potential litigation hanging out there, and there's only so much he can say. So he comes off almost sounding as incomplete or less than fully genuine, not revealing all he knows.
Williams gets it inside the 5 to about the 4, and that's Mikhail Onu that brings him down, number 4.
You can see it again, the nice little ISO play, patience, the kick out block. Terrence does a great job of just exploiting that, being patient and waiting on it.
Williams stays upright long enough. Touchdown. Boy, he got popped a couple of times and salutes the fans on the hill with the Brazos behind them.
Well, he's a 3rd year in this program. Came here in 2014. A lot of traffic there. And it's tough for a big, lanky guy to get his pad level down to get in that score. He earned every bit of that one.
17 carries for 84 yards for Terrence Williams. They call him a leaner. That was the way he was described by Seth Russell to us yesterday, the kind of back he is to kind of offset Shock Linwood, you know, with Hasty and Williams, even with the loss of Johnny Jefferson for the remainder of this season. He's going to take care of some personal issues. He had also been suffering from a high ankle sprain and was recovering from a car accident. So he's going to take some time out of school to get his life together. Still a part of this team. They hope to have him returning. They still have a triple threat in that backfield. They're going to review this. That's what the white hat Mr. Castleberry is doing. Jeff Hansen on the replay. The replay official for the Big 12 is taking a look at it.
Well, I like that trio, though, of backs, complementary styles. And let's take another look-see at it and see if we can see if his knee is down or if the ball looks like the security is there and his knees are clearly not on the ground now.
Wait a minute.
There.
They are now.
There
yeah, I think
it may be down just a half a beat shy.
Without the angle right on the line, it would be very hard to overturn this, though, Spencer.
Yeah, it's tough.
The
to see
replay official really would have to see the line.
Yeah.
I think that when you talk of indisputable video evidence on a play like that, that's what is necessary to get an overturn. We shall see. But to go back to the point earlier that we were making about the interview that Art Briles did today, that Tom Rinaldi did, I must admit, I felt his emotions took him to a place that I did not anticipate. Listen, there's no denying his coaching career was paramount on his mind with regard to setting up the interview when he did, his representation, Jimmy Sexton, and so on and so forth. But it had been so long since it happened, and we had heard nothing. I would submit that that was a significant first step, albeit rather late, a significant first step.
Yeah, Timmy, but as we said, again, to recap at the top of the show, there is an uneasy tension in America general when you have highly successful
After
athletic.
further review, the runner's knee was down with the ball at the 1-yard line. It's second down and goal.
Boy, I tell you, I'm a little surprised with those angles we provided that they came up with that, but they did.
Well, I think at the first angle, this is the one that they looked at to determine it, I'm sure. And again, it looks like his knee may be down.
Yes,
right there.
Yeah, but with this view, you can't tell where the ball was in conjunction with the knee. So you're talking indisputable. We have to redefine what that is, evidently. I never cease to be amazed. Second down and goal, so wipe the touchdown off of the scoreboard for the moment. Williams again will bounce it out, tries to cut it back up and slips. So it'll be third and goal from the 1. And the SMU defense can feel very confident in the way they played overall today, regardless of the outcome. Williams is stopped. There's another example of it. They have not stopped playing inside. Anthony Roan with the push. The junior from Texarkana.
And number 48, Roan really stuck his nose in there. You can see him come and feel right here immediately. He's in the backfield, shot that gap right there. Those wide splits, even goal line scenarios that Baylor tends to get, leaves voids in there, and Roan exploited it.
Dan Malone, the defensive coordinator for SMU, came over from Oklahoma State. We mentioned his background as a player at Texas and in the NFL. He's got to be pleased with the way his defense has acquitted itself today.
Well, they have played hard. Horst Richardson on the outside at corner has played exceptionally well. Roan in the inside linebacker position is a strength for them.
See the official coming in because of the substitution. They have to allow time for an additional substitution for the opposing team. And Hasty came in awfully late, and then a timeout call.
Second time out of the half.
The lead is 20, 6:41 remaining. Kendall Briles will talk with his quarterback. UFC 203 pre-fight show is currently on FS2 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. We will take you there at the conclusion of our game right here on FS1. And a reminder, more football coming up tonight. Texas Tech, Arizona State, BYU, and Utah.
There'll be some fireworks there, brother.
Fourth down, 4th and goal. Seth's going to keep it. Using that body of his. Stopped shy of the end zone, and it's Mikhail Onu that makes the play. The sophomore from Lone Star High in Frisco, Texas, steps up, meets the angular athlete, and an elite one at that. Head on, stops him shy. Ponies. Only about a 90-minute drive for the Mustangs cheerleaders. A team trailing by 20, but still playing tough inside. Let's take a look at the Nissan Heisman watch. Spencer, who do you have this week?
Timmy, I'm a sucker for a narrative. I'd like to see Nick Chubb come back after the knee injury. Over 200 yards rushing in week 1. Christian McCaffrey just steady as she goes, and I think, of course, with this quarterback gone now, the offense will flow through him, and I think ultimately Lamar Jackson of Louisville has really been on fire. 3 touchdowns in the first half. First 5 minutes against Syracuse. That after an 8-touchdown performance in the first half in week 1.
Freeman stopped just outside the end zone at the 1. Barely got back to the line of scrimmage, really. Yeah, that was some performance last night.
You know, you tweeted me and you said it was kind of Cam Newton-esque when he jumped
from
over.
2010. Yeah. It reminded me, that one run reminded me a little of the one he had when Patrick Peterson couldn't catch up with him from LSU back in 2010. 2nd and 10. for Prochet. Well defended in man coverage that time. And Hicks doing all that he can. That was Graylin Arnold, number 4, the freshman, who was with him step for step. 3rd and 10 coming up.
You know, Louisville, to kind of close out this Heisman talk, was kind of a chic pick for a lot of folks to make a lot of noise. And I just hope that Lamar doesn't get marginalized or penalized because of the way his head coach, Bobby Petrino, manages things. I mean, the guy has a very interesting approach that I don't necessarily subscribe to. I think he manages through intimidation sometimes. And that can hurt a stellar player like Jackson, I think, when it comes to time to vote. I mean, it sounds trite, but it does happen.
West gets it out to the 5-yard line. Tell you what, he can dial up some outstanding offensive plays.
Nobody ever denies that. He's the best there is.
He is as good with a play chart in front of him as a head coach as about any I've seen since Steve Spurrier in the old fun and gun days.
Yeah. But I think, Timmy, if this millennial cohort needs anything.
Oh, yeah. I'm with you. I get your drift.
Yeah.
I do. Tony Nicholson is back deep. Jamie Sackville will punt it away from his end zone. Now, that end-over-end Australian punt is a beautiful thing, isn't it? I mean, it really is. I mean, mate, take care of it, you know, and they do. 40-yard boot by him. Let's go down to Bruce Feldman. Bruce?
Hey, Timmy, you know, Baylor really had to take a hard look at itself with all the talk about the sexual assault scandal, and they made some major changes here. One of the big things was this 105 recommendations that Pepper Hamilton, that's the investigative firm, put forth. And from what I've been told from a high-ranking Baylor official, that they have made really good progress on about 80% of that so far. A couple of those things, they've doubled the staffing on this 24-hour call center. They've increased the Title IX staff and support group. So they have really done a lot of hard work to try to correct a lot of things that they knew they needed to work on.
Zach Smith, the freshman from Grandview, Texas, is coming to the game, and it's Michael Hasty. Only a matter of time before that speed merchant, once he gets to the second level, can burn you. Jordan Wyatt, after the 20-yard gain, hauls him down.
You know, Bruce had some interesting comments there. I'd kind of like to see the NCAA and even the NFL get more proactive with respect to managing this, as opposed to waiting till they get to this stage of their lives. I mean, they know what they're dealing with when they go into the homes and recruit. A lot of these kids can come from difficult cultural situations. Instead of waiting till they get here, why don't they catch it on the front end?
Hasty tripped up. Shoestring tackle by Darian Malines, number 29. He's had a very active day. I'm impressed with that perimeter. Horace Richardson to start. Wyatt on one corner's got an interception, and he runs him down and saves a touchdown here, does Malines.
Nice bit of running on the outside. Again, if he keeps that ball tucked in and maybe gets a couple of extra yards, that's a nice, fine job of running.
First and goal. Touchdown, Jermichael Hasty. Touchdown. 7 carries, 63 yards for him. After the goal line stand, Baylor takes advantage of the quality field position and sticks it in.
Hastily walks in, and it just got nice zone blocking protection there. Walks in virtually untouched.
Extra point is good. Not bad when you don't have it all together and you still have 40, huh?
Points count.
Yes, they do. I don't care how you get them. And some near misses, really, for SMU. Opportunities lost early and late. And Baylor will make you pay. This one, college football, is presented by Geico from McLean Stadium. Waco, Texas. Tim Brando, Spencer Tillman, Bruce Feldman. Baylor Bears now comfortably out in front against SMU. Kevin Thomas is back deep. There we go into the end zone for a touchback. Let's get another game break from Mike Hill in Los Angeles.
All right, guys, Ohio State and Tulsa. Buckeyes not getting their first offensive score of the day until the third. J.T. Barrett, who had 7 touchdowns last week, doing it himself, 11 yards. Buckeyes up 34-3 in the third. Don't forget, it's Ohio State, Oklahoma next week on Fox. I know you guys won't forget Grandpa Timmy and Spencer.
Well, I'll tell you, young man. Seth Russell will close the books on him. 26 of 47, 261 yards, a couple of touchdowns, and a pick. Did rush the ball 7 times for 43 yards. Let me tell you something. Ohio State with Barrett, I think, has eliminated part of its problem. That pass should have been caught. It was like a hot potato for Kamon Freeman.
Yeah,
Goes incomplete.
Variety is a mixed blessing. You had 3 quarterbacks and couldn't find any rhythm or momentum last year. And again, they paid a steep penalty for it. Just to kind of give you a sense of how talented they were. Braxton Miller is now starting for the Houston Texans in a slot position, a former 2-time MVP at the quarterback position. That's how deep Ohio State was. Trying to manage that difficult plethora of talent at the quarterback spot for Urban Meyer.
Couldn't beat Michigan State at home.
Nope.
Looping it deep and incomplete. Closest to it was Ryan Becker. And again, a reminder, UFC 203 pre-fight show is currently on FS2. It's streaming live on Fox Sports Go, and we'll take you there at the conclusion of our game here. And you saw the graphic a moment ago about Gus and Joel and Shannon Spake will be on hand for that matchup between BYU and Utah tonight on Fox. That pass is incomplete, intended for Myron Galliard, number 22. Eric Ogar, number 49, the nickelbacker, was there in coverage for Baylor. And the other matchup, I'm telling you, I can't wait to watch Patrick Mahomes just thread the needle in Tempe, Sun Devil Stadium, the matchup with Arizona State tonight. Joe Davis and Brady Quinn, who are the happy parents of their first children, will be calling that one tonight, along with Jenny Taft on FS1. Out of bounds on that punt as we get ready for the closing moments of this game with 3:50 left. Pretty incredible day for the Big 12. They're going to be talking about what happened to Oklahoma State all week long in this conference. The big news, of course, was the play of Shane Buechele, and the 18-wheeler didn't hurt. OU did drop, but I'd submit for you that your alma mater can be thankful they've got Ohio State on the schedule next week.
Yeah,
I mean, that really helps them.
They need to play extremely well. I think they can vault back up, but we've talked about this in the past. The Blue Bloods don't drop as fast, and they can rise quicker than some of the programs that don't have that status.
They rushed the field at Kansas last week, but Ohio University beat them today. And markers down. Pre-snap.
A false start by number 50 of the offense. The 5-yard penalty, and it's still first down.
Simmons, 50, the junior transfer, guilty that time of the false start. An inordinate number of them today for Baylor. Slant pattern incomplete, intended for Mims. There have been 13 false starts against the Baylor offensive front today, or their wide receiving core. That is just not acceptable.
That's part of what's happening up front in terms of protection and anticipation and not holding your water, but also their quick game passing-wise has not been on point either.
Scheffner, number 31. Wyatt Scheffner getting a little playing time. Carroll coming in there for SMU. It's third down. We'll call it 7. Zach Smith remains in at quarterback. Threw for 60 yards and a touchdown against the Demons of Northwestern State last week. Scheffner again gets it to midfield. We mentioned this a little earlier, the penalty yardage, where they were a season ago, and that's not good, and it's not going to get any better today. 14 for 106, 13 of them false starts. Think about that.
And those are all mental mistakes. Those are mental errors. And then Jim Groves has got to correct that some way. And on the offensive line is where you don't want to see those mistakes being made.
Drew Galitz will punt it away. James Prochet is inside his 10. Couldn't field it, so the ball will bound inside the 5 to about the 3-yard line, and that's where the Mustangs will take over with 2:19 left. I got to tell you, in talking with Chad Morris before this game, I got the feeling that he knew, as a representative now of the American Athletic Conference, where they are, where they hope to be, that his long-term thoughts are more important than where this program is short-term. And that's, I think, right there for everyone to see with regard to how many freshmen he signed and how few junior college players, if any, that have made any impact whatsoever. I think from a talent standpoint, Spencer, just in year 2, they've made strides.
Well, listen, there's no question his vision is clear. I mean, he knows he wants to build this team from Texas. Over the last 2 years, player he's recruited is from the state of Texas.
Yeah. Harold Colbert finally into the game, giving it to Kamon Freeman, and he gets ahead to the 10-yard line. Colbert redshirted in 2014. Was an All-Stater in 2012. His dad played for Kansas City, played for the Chiefs. He was in 7 games a year ago, got beat out for the number 2 position behind Matt Davis, but they run basically zone read whenever he's in there.
Out of that Lamar program in Houston. Pretty good program.
Freeman stopped immediately. Baylor's defense has been pretty stout in the second half, too.
And I think the tempo, of course, of SMU has slowed down a little bit with Hicks out of the game. They're not really putting pressure on the perimeter as much, and so it's easy to dial up the bodies inside so that they can prevent the run game from really gashing them.
I tell you what, I'm looking at the schedule ahead for Baylor, Spencer, and you can make a strong case, particularly with what happened to Oklahoma State today. They get them at home on September the 24th. Iowa State after that, Kansas. They could easily, if they can stay healthy, they could easily trot into that matchup with Texas on October 29th as an undefeated team.
No question. They got the bye on October 22nd. Now plenty of time to prepare. They'll be prepared for Texas.
So, and I think one of the first things out of Jim Grove's mouth to us yesterday is play smart, play healthy. And when we saw Seth Russell on that 4th down play take it to the 1 and really get popped, I know that's not what he wanted to see.
But that's what he's got in his back pocket. When they get to this point here that you just mentioned, October 22nd, it's going to be Katie bar at the door. At that point, they can see the finish line.
That's Trevor White. Stopped at the 47 after a 44-yard boot. Here's that play we were talking about. Now, this is after thinking, last year, it's a young man that could have been done. His playing career could have been over. That's a head going down in a similar spot to where he was in the Iowa State game when he was lost for the season.
Yeah, with that head going down, this motion right there, that's what's problematic, Timmy.
That's a horror story. You just don't want to see that if you're Kendall Briles and Jim Grove.
I think they can coach him up a little bit better on that. You can always keep your head up and finish plays, and I think it's counterintuitive a lot of times for guys to put their head up as opposed to putting it down.
I'll tell you this, though. I was so impressed by our conversation with he and Ryan Reed. Popping free, Schreffner again, inside the 30 to the 28. The young men that remained have resolve. You can tell they've got resolve, these young men that have stayed with this program.
That's usually what happens. I mean, what's left are the guys that really are the cornerstone and the bedrock of what you're trying to do from a program standpoint, and that's what you build around. The guys who were part of the problems, the Title IX issues that will be in the fore for some future time to come, those guys are no longer here. So they're starting from scratch internal. Let's see if they can leverage it and reestablish the program.
Well, the Baylor Bears moved to 2-0, and Chad Morris's club to 1-1. And his program will get Liberty next week. And then TCU on September the 23rd as they move forward before getting into American Athletic Conference play at Temple on October the 1st. Those two have a lot of respect for one another. Today's game presented by and produced by Eric Billigmeyer, directed by Doug Freeman. Our many thanks to the guys in the booth. Brett Bender, our spotter, statistician Scott Alexander. Now let's go down to Bruce Feldman, who's got Coach Grove.
Coach, you guys had 34 points in the second half. What got you going?
Well, I think we challenged our guys to play better in the second half. That sounds silly, but individually we kept having a bust here and there by individual players, and it hurt both the offense and the defense. So I was proud of our defense. They hung in there and made them kick field goals in the first half. Offensively, we just made too many mistakes, and so I think individually guys took it on themselves to just play better and do their job. I think we had too many missed assignments in the first half.
The defense really did keep you in the game. Young defensive line, your leader in the secondary, Ryan Reed, goes out early in the game, and you guys got a bunch of turnovers. How would you assess them so far as a group?
Well, I think they showed us that they've got some grit. You know, they bowed their necks a little bit. I'm not real happy with the way we played the run today. I thought we were a little soft inside. Credit to SMU. I thought Chad and his guys did a great job today. But for us defensively, I thought the number one thing we did was find a way to win.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Back to you, Tim.
All right, Bruce, thank you. It's a victory, no matter how artistic. And for Bruce Feldman and Spencer Tillman, this is Tim Brando saying so long from McLean Stadium in Waco, Texas. Don't forget, great football tonight on Fox and on FS1. But right now, we're going to send you to the UFC 203 pre-fight show. Many thanks to all here in Waco for their hospitality. We look forward to coming back soon. Bye-bye.